There's a yeah. So the whole idea is that it's a regular world, but there's a secret war. There's a secret thing going on in it with the supernatural. So
Okay.
this would be kind of neat because you could have been a former military, former assassin, former yakuza, former whatever, and either at the moment of your potential death or when you finally said I've had enough and you walked away, in a moment of weakness you were possessed,
Yeah,
and now
literally.
you work for a much higher power than whatever you thought you worked for before. Governments, crime syndicates, mercenary bands, whatever, mean nothing. Now you work for the big boys.
Right. Cool. I like it.
I want very badly. Let's do it now.
I
Alright.
also want very badly.
I have 4 hours, boys. Let's make it.
Okay, so let's make a system. Let's have a world building session.
Let's do it. Let's fucking record this shit.
I'm sitting in Journey and we're recording now.
Nice.
We'll be doing this world building session, and hopefully, if the world building goes well, we'll get our first session kind of pilot out.
Yep, here we go. We are going to do a world building session. I am going to be co-opting, or we are going to be co-opting the World of Darkness style of gameplay, which involves skills, attributes, whatever. James, look up a World of Darkness character sheet online. It's really easy. Look up
Got
like
it.
a Vampire the Masquerade character sheet. It's just probably the easiest thing for you to do. Pretty simple. We'll probably be
Oh, good. It's full res. Okay.
Yeah, we will probably be using something like a points buy. All of this, guys, if you're listening out there, comes from a little idea that that James found online and shared with us. And this is how you do homebrew roleplay. You find an idea and you say, "Hey, I could work with that." A fellow by the name of Robert Chew, Chew, who makes concept art, did some concept art of the 7 deadly sins and the 7 virtues as modern characters, right?
Modern military character type of things. The
Yeah,
each
they're military
character kind of
counterparts
has
and
like
use-
this military application about them, right? And like so there's Diligence, who has a knight with 2 shields behind them, and all of the agents of virtue use angels, right? And all of the agents of sin use demons. So like, just for sake of example, my favorite demon is Envy. And Envy has like this long cloak that flows behind them, and a giant bow type of thing, supposed to be like a long range character. So each character has this type of application about them that they contribute to this team. And I was like, well, what if we do a campaign? Just keep it small, maybe 3 or 4 people at most, and we kind of go about this thing and just try and make a system for it. So this is the result of that.
And here we go. We are going to be doing some world building, some character building. And off we go. Mr. Chu plays Destiny, by the way. He's got a...
Yes, he does.
I saw the picture of his t-shirt.
On his Tumblr, he has a picture of 3 Siva infected guardians.
Oh, I also see a picture of him wearing an Iron Banner t-shirt.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, no. You see art like this and sci-fi stuff, mysticism doesn't fall far behind.
Mm-hmm.
No.
So I'm looking at this vampire character sheet I've just put up in chat, and it looks totally adaptable. Even there's a lot we don't really need from it.
Yeah, of
Like
course.
this whole virtues, conscience, self-control, courage. I think we should hang on to that.
Yeah, those are the standards. Of your virtues are like your willpower. Your
Yeah,
conscience,
exactly.
your self-control, and your courage. We can adapt those a little bit for
Well, because
whether...
clearly possession would hinge on those.
It's funny. The reason
Oh,
I chose
definitely.
this is because vampires in the Vampire the Masquerade setting are actually kind of possessed. They are possessed by the beast, and they're always losing their humanity. And when they lose all of it, they simply become ravenous, mindless beasts. And even the other vampires will hunt them down. You have to keep a certain amount of your humanity, or else you lose it and you're gone. You're not there anymore. And so your
translated
virtues are like your
Yes.
self-control is your ability to avoid dropping into a frenzy and attacking people mindlessly because you want blood, kind of thing. Well, that actually fits in nicely with the concept of being possessed.
Especially with some like Wrath Demon, you'd have to make serious control saves not to just be blowing up collateral out the ass.
Exactly.
Pride demon would have
gluttony.
to make saves not to fucking get himself killed, probably.
Yep.
Gluttony
And-
would have to make saves to make sure that his demon is adequately fed.
Well, that
And
his
doesn't
demon wouldn't just
consume
kill
him
if he got
instead.
out.
So how would it be if people possessed by demons have a self-control stat and people possessed by angels have a conscience stat? Can your conscience live with the things you're doing in the name of God?
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, if you commit an act of absolute, you know, horrendous violence or whatever against innocent people get killed, you have to make a conscience roll, kind of thing, to maintain your connection with your angel.
I like that a lot.
That would be pretty cool. There's, like I said, a health setting there. There's a health setting there. Don't worry about the blood pool, obviously. Willpower is willpower. Humanity could literally be the connection you have, right? It's your possession level.
Yeah.
If your possession level gets to 10, that's it. You're not a human anymore.
Yeah, for the angels,
And your
virtue would
roleplay
be
literally
hosting,
becomes,
and for the sins,
like-
it would be possession.
Yeah.
And your roleplay literally becomes, I am in the car, but I am not driving.
Yeah, basically. That's when the DM says, give me the character sheet, I get to play you for the rest of the night.
Yep.
You are a puppet on my string. If you look under other traits and disciplines, and like disciplines are powers.
Okay, so that's where you'd put shit like, you know, demon powers and angel
Yep.
powers and whatnot.
And in fact, the vampire ones have some cool ones because they do have some that are purely physical, like supernatural strength, supernatural toughness, supernatural speed. They have, they have one called, trying to remember. Think of it as, you will change the light bulb, I will change the light bulb. You know, that kind of thing. Dominance,
Jedi mind tricks.
verbal dominance. Yeah, Jedi mind tricks, basically.
Vampires have always had that kind of will swaying ability.
Some of them have.
People call that in some instances, it's generally one of the more widely accepted terms. People call it glamoring.
Yeah.
Well, there's another one like that too, where you can pass unnoticed. There's a particular species of vampire in this game that are horrendously ugly. I mean, to the point where they make everyone
Envy.
scared. They make everyone really, really scared, and so they have the ability to pass unnoticed if they manage, like from the earliest stages where if they duck behind cover, like even partially behind cover, you just don't notice them. To the point where they can literally walk up, smack you in the face, and
You do not see Grog!
You do not see Grog, exactly. They will. They can get to the point where they can walk up, smack you in the face, and you will find a reason to not notice it.
Yeah.
So,
you
for
don't
anyone who
see
doesn't know
Grog.
the you do not see Grog reference, it's a reference to a Tumblr post where there was a rogue maid that was a half-orc, half-orc barbarian, I believe, with
Yes.
and it started at like level 7, right? So it was pretty up there, and the people started with established characters and whatnot, and special class in rogue after like a level, right? And the whole deal was that all of this stuff was into intimidation and deception. So this half orc in heavy armor and a two-hander would run into a room, and I roll for stealth. You know, with your detriments, you get like a 7, right? So you fail your stealth check, and then I roll for intimidation and scream, "You do not see Grog." So everyone else is like, "All right, shit, fuck, I don't see Grog. Oh my god."
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so
It's the
looking
best.
here. If you're listening and you want to just follow along, look up a Vampire the Masquerade character sheet. They're available for free online. You can just download them. White Wolf Publishing doesn't charge you for them. So disciplines would be powers. Backgrounds are they're things about your character that don't come under skills or talents or things you know. Things like how much money you earn in your life, like how much money you have access to. If we're going to be playing in a modern world, money becomes an important thing. And so every
Yes.
dot in, if you have 0, then you're a homeless bum who survives off the goodwill of others. If you have 5 dots, you're like you're a 1%er. You
You're a magnet.
you fly first class everywhere, assuming you don't take your own private jet. You know, you drive a Ferrari. Everybody knows you when you go to the club. You don't wait in lines. The doorman just like, hi, how's it going? Everyone knows you. And you know, 2 or 3 is you're basically middle class. You worked a good job. You have money in the bank, and it gives you a background of how much you can expect to spend in cash at any given time, and not have to, you know, worry about it. How much cash you have in your pocket at any given time, or access to on a credit card. Other things are allies. Do you have people out there in the world who you can contact and count on for a favor? The more you use them, the more likely it is they're going to be like, hey, listen, I've done enough. Then there's contacts. Contacts won't do you a favor, but they're people you know who are good for information, and you can have contacts, let's say, among the police, contacts and military contacts and whatever. Retainers. Do you have bitches working for you? You know, are you like, let's say for lust, were you a pimp? You know, have you got a whole stable of?
You would be.
Have you got a whole stable of hoes out there who you can literally tap into for resources? And that gives you interesting options for role playing.
I like it.
There's some other stuff that's here that's pretty cool too. Empathy, streetwise, subterfuge, security.
These are skills.
I imagine all of our occults would be 5.
Again, maybe not. Maybe you literally have no concept of what the hell's going on with you.
Right.
Yeah. You know, you imagine playing a guy who's been possessed.
Okay, so we all start with 1 occult. 1. Okay? So none of our characters have any clue of what the hell's going on with them. And then throughout the course of the role play, whoever's the DM, right? Probably John, because he seems to know the most about the system, excuse me. You know, either through DM discretion or just evolution of characters throughout the roleplay and like experience-based type of gain, right? You get more occult points. I think that would be really fucking cool.
Interesting.
Well, yeah, and as your occult connection grows, but you maintain your possession meter, perhaps you grow stronger and don't gain a detriment from it.
Yeah. And the thing is, remember,
like
occult knowledge is not occult
studying.
power. It's literally it's your book learning about the occult.
Yeah, how
so
much
as long
you
as
know
you
about
can learn
the underworld
about
and shit like that.
you can learn about what you now what situation you are in.
Linguistics
comes from the fact that if you can understand X, you can at the very least influence X.
Yeah. Linguistics is easy. Every dot is a new language, you know. And it doesn't cap at 5. You can go as high as you damn well like. Medicine, 1 dot literally means you know CPR, and 5 is you are a world-renowned neurosurgeon.
Okay.
And once you hit 3 or 4 dots in a thing, you are considered a master of it. So you can automatically consider that you have contacts in that field. If you have 4 or 5 dots in firearms, or in let's say like I don't know, let's say melee. If you have 4 or 5 dots in melee, you are a world-renowned like MMA fighter. People know you. You know,
So
or you are
playing an agent of Pride.
or
So
you
I
are
would
renowned.
You'd have like 4 dots in that type of shit.
Yeah.
I'd
At
have
the very
brawl,
least 3.
I'd probably have dodge, melee.
Exactly. And chances are, before you became possessed, you were incredibly well known in the physical.
Maybe I was a fucking title fighter, and
You
I was
might
told
have
to take
been.
a dive, and it was my career. And so Pride comes in, whispering on my shoulder here, you can't take that fucking dive.
Yep.
And now I'm on the goddamn run.
That's an excellent potential. You could have been special forces, a master of Krav Maga kind of thing. You know,
Yeah.
there's
Just
all.
Krav Maga literally fucking kills people.
Yep.
James, I practice like every martial art that kills people.
Well,
There's not a martial art under my
There's
belt.
shit like, there's shit like Tai Chi, where, like, it's all nice and meditative and slow, but then when you speed it up, it really hurts, and it's
Yeah,
kind of like,
I do
it's
Tai
kind
Chi
of bad.
Chuan as well. That's what
And
that's
then,
called.
like, then there's like, what the fuck? There's like, jujitsu. Jujitsu's a really common one, right? Where it's like, you actually get really good at it. People don't want to screw with you. No, Krav Maga is like you knee the dude in the nuts, punch him square in his jaw while he's coming down for more force upwards, and then you kick him directly downwards in his kneecap to break his knee inward, and then you pull on his beard and kick him in the shin while he's down.
Yep.
Like, that's Krav Maga.
My favorite Krav Maga technique is the one I use anytime someone around here pulls a knife. You just break their goddamn fingers with the knife by punching them in the knuckle, and then you pick the knife up yourself, basically.
Mine now.
You break their own hand with their knife, and then you pick it up and you go, I'm sorry, were you mugging me? You've got another hand, I'll give you another shot, but after that I'm gonna have to call it quits.
Hey, you're getting mugged. No, you're getting mugged. Ah, how does that even work?
You're getting mugged. No, you're getting mugged.
Oh, sweetie. Why don't you go home?
Basically. No, it's so stupid. I've had a guy literally with his knife to my back, and it's just, you turn around, you look at the guy, and you say, if I had a wallet, dude, it's not fucking yours. So, you can stab me, or you can just fuck off. And most of the time, they fuck off.
Okay, so I have some ideas already for a campaign, which I absolutely won't mind DMing. Sounds good.
I have tons of ideas
Yep.
for my pride demon.
You want to play a person who is possessed by a demon of pride. Okay, do not be afraid.
Have you seen the image?
I'm
I'm probably gonna do envy. The
and
sniper.
don't be afraid to not do a demon. If you want to do both, I will find a way to make it work.
Well, I absolutely want to play my Demon of Pride. If it takes, like, separate campaigns, we can do separate campaigns for each.
Oh
kind
yeah,
of
and
agency.
then like, you know, once one of us becomes once I become really familiar with the system, I'll gladly DM an angel campaign. Hell yeah,
Yeah,
I'll do
I
it
think
like
we-
every day of the week, man. But like until I'm more familiar with the system, I'm not gonna want to touch it.
Okie dokie. All right, so trying to remember the point system for this to make a basic character. Okay, I believe that you pick. What is it? It's aside from, if you look at the top, you have your attributes, of course, which make perfect sense.
Oh, John, by the way, I'm
Yep.
putting the 7 demons into the chat so you can see them in case you didn't already.
Perfect.
Yeah, just put them up in the chat.
If you look at the top of the character sheet, you've got attributes: physical, social, and mental. You choose one as your primary, one as your secondary, and one as your tertiary. And what that does is allows you to put extra points in each one as you build your character. It's not a roll. Okay, so let's say if I think, hang on a second, let me just look it up because I haven't played this in forever. But basically, your primary gets more points than your secondary and your tertiary that you get to put in. And then it's the same thing with talent, skills, knowledge. We will give you some disciplines, abilities. For the moment, I mean, you can start with like 3 disciplines. Chances are you'll take 2 that are almost purely physical. So supernatural speed, supernatural strength, supernatural toughness, which you think of them as automatic successes. When you roll to hit, let's say you roll to hit somebody, you're going to roll your, let's say, your strength plus your brawl. If I'm going to punch some guy in the face, I'm going to roll my strength and my brawl, and the difficulty to hit him is 6. So I roll my 4 or 5 dice. Everything that's a 6 or more is a success. If I have supernatural strength or supernatural agility, I think agility gives you extra actions, and the supernatural strength is automatic damage.
Right.
So when I roll,
Pride would probably have supernatural strength.
if Pride is a melee fighter, you're looking at you could probably just go with the 3 physical disciplines and just be a beast in combat. You don't care about controlling people's minds. You don't care about flashy invisibility tricks or fireballs and stuff. No, you beat people
The last
up.
demon there that James sent in chat is the Pride demon and his operator, which is
Bingo.
why I'm so
The one with like the
yes,
giant meat cleaver and the
Yeah, and
the
think of the
toothed
operator
axe and
as
shit
the
like
voice
that.
in your head. It's a voice
Well,
in
the
your
operator's
head.
the
It's a
person that
feeling.
they actually play.
Yeah.
The demon behind them. It's almost.
That's right.
Are you familiar with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, John?
Yes, of course.
It's literally, if you look at these pictures, there's the operator in front of them, and then their stand, like the thing behind them, is literally like this giant demon, whatever.
Okay. How would it be, and this is again just some thoughts, if you are this person, obviously, and you are possessed by the thing behind you. We may have to figure out a way to bring it into where they can come out and fight. It's tough because we'd like to keep it in a semi-fantasy world where, you know, things that look like this don't run around all the time. So the giant red thing with the long tongue and the big teeth is Pride?
That's gluttony.
With the shotgun, the giant red thing with the
Pride's
shotgun.
got the
Yeah,
hammer
that's
axe.
gluttony.
Yeah, he's got the hammer and a sword on his back and
Yeah.
knives strapped to him and like a gauntlet for beating the shit out of people.
Cool.
And then
He's also got a
Envy is
pistol.
the one with the bow and the sniper rifle.
Yeah.
With the giant cloak.
Right.
And then
Wrath
Pride's
is
demon
the,
has got his fucking harvesting blade.
Yeah, I
there.
see Wrath with the grenade launcher.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sloth is with the giant machine gun.
Mm-hmm.
That even
Greene
looks
is
like a modified
the one with the
Baron.
little pistol.
Mm-hmm.
Lust is with the silence pistol, right?
Yeah. Okay. The easiest way to figure to play this in a modern setting, which I really would like to do,
Yes.
absolutely.
would be to have you appear as a reasonably normal human being most of the time.
Yeah, that's
But-
kind of how I pictured it too.
But the fights turning into this, you know, because your average human being doesn't frighten you. The average human being can't even hurt you.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they could with some luck, but then again, chances are they barely notice you anyway. Your demons like give off this aura, and people like avoid you literally like the plague. They walk on the other side of the street and don't even realize why they're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But when, especially at night, especially in dark alleys, when the fights start, this is what people will see in the fight. This is what you will be in the fight. You take on aspects of the demon that possesses you. And
Yes,
obviously
okay.
you have the powers available from the demon. It's there. It's always inside of you, and it always wants to come out and play. It's a matter of you, the human, as long as you're keeping your humanity in grip, manage to suppress it and only let it out when you need it.
So that's how we'll. Okay.
But if
I
you,
love this.
and as a DM, I'm going to be watching, and if you're stupid about it, then I start taking away your humanity and your ability to not let this slip and reveal to the entire, you know, screaming population of planet Earth that there's a giant war going on between heaven and hell.
Yeah.
The idea is this
More or less.
needs to be kept a secret. And if you are known, if you are seen to be breaking this contract, if you are seen to be letting the average schmoes out there know this, you could find both sides hunting you down.
Right. So you and your demon become outliers,
Yeah. Yeah. Basically.
risking everything to everybody.
Even hell doesn't want it known.
Well, yeah, they're here for chaos, but it's planned chaos.
Well, more importantly, the best trick the devil ever pulled was convincing humanity he doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know? And of course, heaven doesn't want it because heaven doesn't want massive piles of anarchy.
Yeah.
They've got enough of that
let's-
without you guys helping. So let's start making
Let's figure
characters.
out some-
Let's start
Yeah.
making characters because I know, kind of within reason, what this campaign is going to be about. I mean, it's right now it's just some ideas, but it actually fits in really well with a storyline that I would like to do.
Yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Sort of, anyway. It's a more modern take on no, it's not going to be the Sentinel. No, it's not. Just because that's just crazy stupid. But this one's going to be probably more serious, more political, but at the same time with an interesting supernatural bend to it.
I love it.
Let me see. Okay, so while I've got this going, let me pull up a new window and Vampire the Masquerade. Character generation. Here we go. And updating things, right? I don't want character
This is almost
generators.
even like a Fallout character sheet.
Yeah, kind of.
There's a
internal.
little more depth to it, but
And it can be as, as XP checker. Okay,
wait. I think at the bottom of these sheets, it might tell us how many points we get for each.
Yes, it might. I seem to remember that it did. There's
attributes 7, 5, and 3.
Okay,
Abilities,
that's
13,
aside
9,
from the
5.
3 points that are already there. That's important to remember.
Okay.
So, because I don't mind doing a more high-powered campaign, because I would rather you guys have the kind of point. Oh yeah, here we go. Attributes. Your primary, aside from the 3 that are already there, you're going to put 7 more.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so at the bottom of the page, it does say.
Yeah. Their secondary one, again, you put 5 more, and the tertiary one, you'll put 3 more. Then, abilities, you get 13 points in the primary, which is talents, skills, or knowledge. You choose one. Do you want to be a bookworm? Do you want to be talented? Or do you want to be a skilled character? You get 9 points in the second one, and you get 5 points in the third. That's to start with. Disciplines, you get 3 points, but again, you can have up to 3 disciplines. And aside from strength, toughness, and speed, think of speed as extra actions per round. Okay, so each point you have allows you to take an extra action per round aside from the basic one.
Right.
Think of it as, and when I say supernatural, I mean moving so frigging fast that people can, like, if you have 3 points in that, you move so fast people can't see you. You're a blur.
You're like an Eldar.
Yeah, you're literally a blur. Because even like a ninja doesn't have any points in this. He still only takes 1 action per round. Rounds in this are literally
Can you send us a link of what you're looking at?
Yeah.
I put it in chat, James.
It's there. Look at the bottom of the
it's
page of the
right
character
on the
sheet.
okay.
Yeah, look at the very bottom of the
Look
page.
at the very bottom.
Backgrounds, you get 5 points. Virtues, 7 points. You know what? Don't go with the virtues just yet, because those are vampire-based ones. It takes courage and self-control to avoid running like crazy when you see fire as a vampire. It's just kind of weird. For you, the only thing you really have is self-control.
Okay.
Right.
Because you're not really afraid of much. You're not afraid of the kind of things that vampires have to be afraid of. If vampires see open flames in World of Warcraft, they have to make a self-control roll, or they freak the fuck out.
Aha.
Because there's 2 kinds of damage, and I'm gonna go with it. There are 2 kinds of damage in this. There's basic damage, which you can heal, which your demon can heal. It's one of the reasons why you are so special. You heal a certain amount of basic damage every turn. Okay. You have a health pool of 7. You'll see it, right? Incapacitated
Bruised,
doesn't
hurt,
mean
injured, wounded,
Right.
mauled, crippled, and incapacitated.
And the negatives is the penalties you take to rolls.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Basic damage, you're going to heal like a D10 of that every single turn, assuming that you're not doing much of anything else. Like if you're if you're incapacitated for that round, you're out cold. And if you don't get back on your feet the next round, something might come along and chop your head off and kill you. But as long as the damage is basic damage, chances are the demon in you is going to heal it. Or is going to heal a chunk of it anyway. Usually roll a d10. So you'll heal anywhere from 1 point to all of it every turn. But then there's what we call aggravated damage. Aggravated damage comes from sources that you are vulnerable to and take a long time and extra power to heal. So for vampires, it's fire. For werewolves, it's silver. That damage they can't just shrug off.
Right.
Sunlight. If a vampire faces sunlight, he takes like 5 immediate dice of aggravated damage, and like that's it. If you have supernatural toughness in your discipline, you can reduce aggravated damage by 1 point per. And so people who are supernaturally tough. So what are demons? Susceptible to? Holy water, blessed weapons, angelic auras. I don't know, things like that.
Good thoughts and prayers.
contrary faith could actually, a weapon that's blessed with the faith of God or Allah or Buddha or whatever might do aggravated damage to you.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and don't think of it as damage that you can't heal. It's damage that your demon can't heal. So you're taking what normally a human being would take. If a normal human being gets hit by a sword, he's kind of fucked.
Yeah. And
so that's what you are. The demon can't affect that wound, so you take the standard wound that a human would take. Now,
right.
You know, if you have healing abilities, we will find ways to give you ways to heal up at the end of a fight, kind of thing, so you're not sitting there for months on your back bandaged up. That doesn't make for fun roleplay. Okay, we're back. That should be good. And I'll keep an eye on it. I'm going to set it up about every 45 minutes. So yeah, think of it in that sense. And other than that, the 7 freebie points you get, you can place anywhere. Okay? So you get and background points. Again, think of background points as character background. Things that attach you to the world. What's your financial situation? Do you have allies, contacts in certain areas like the underworld? Do you have any of these things? You can also, if you want, give yourself under other traits virtues and flaws. Okay, so a flaw would give you free points to spend, but would give you a flaw. Do you want to have one eye? Okay, great. You have no depth perception. You can't drive a car, but you do get a bonus to sniping, and you get 3 freebie points. You know, are you a dwarf? Literally, like you know, Peter Dinklage size. Okay, you have to suffer all the penalties of being a dwarf, which means you can't see over things, it's hard to climb, you don't run as fast, you know, people don't respect you necessarily, but you get 5 freebie points. Do you want virtues? Okay, you can take some of your freebies and buy virtues that give you like inherent buffs.
Okay.
But again, only put those in if you really feel like you want to bring some extra characterization, I guess. For the moment,
okay.
Think mostly about just building character. Don't worry about nature and demeanor. Those were aspects of the game that they brought in to give you a way to give your character an archetype. So nature was who you really were, and demeanor was how you acted around other people. Mm-hmm. Traditionalist, dominator, you know, coward, sneaky bastard, gossip, things like that. And it gave DMs a way to sort of think, because there's no, the word I'm looking for en anglais, c'est lawful good, lawful evil type thing. There's no alignment in this.
Okay.
So it's more about who your character is based on their demeanor, and that sort of gave us an idea of, okay, if that gives me a way to see your character and to say, okay, I want to see you playing that.
Okay, I have a name for him already. So.
Cool.
Yeah, I have a name for my guy too, and my guy's demon.
Okay. Most importantly, how did you get to this point? You have, for a very short time now, but long enough to be comfortable with your situation, you have been possessed by a demon. You've had visions of the hell that awaits you if you fail, and the other hell that awaits you if you succeed. Quite literally.
So, one more question.
Yeah.
So for our first ability, say physically, I would choose strength. Even though there are only 5 dots here, would I have 7 points?
Hang on a second. No. You have 3 points to put into those disciplines.
Ooh.
Okay, hang on a second. Oh, for at the top, strength, dex, stamina,
yes.
You mean? Okay.
Yeah.
So you have 7 dots that you can spread between strength, dexterity, and stamina, aside from the 3 that are already there.
Gotcha, and then social, you get 5.
Well, if you choose social as your secondary, you get 5, and then if you choose mental as your tertiary, you get 3. But you choose.
So
you choose. It's not those.
Attribute.
Yeah. If you want to be a socially strong person who's all about getting his own way, but basically look like a skinny little boy in skinny jeans, fine. Put physical as your third. Put social as your first. You're all about manipulation. You're at 4 dots in appearance, you are a supermodel.
Okay.
At 1 dot in appearance, you are deformed in some way. Like, people are reviled by your appearance. 2 is average. 2 in any of these is considered average.
Okay, that makes sense.
So if you have a 5 in charisma, you're Jim Jones, you're Tony Robbins, man. Like when you speak, everybody listens. Chances are you were on TV. Chances are, you ran a cult.
So you get
strength?
7 for your first.
Yeah. That's aside from the 3 that are already there.
Second.
And 3 for your third. And you choose which ones you want. If you have 5 dots in intelligence, you're Stephen Hawking. If you have 1 dot in intelligence, your name is Bubba. You shoot birds at the airport.
Your name is Bubba.
So my strength is 4, my dexterity and my stamina are 3.
Okay, so you are a physical character. With a strength of 4, you look like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Big.
Nice.
Only
Balk is you.
Yeah, only
I am the
Olympic weightlifters have 5.
I'll just wait until I have all of my discipline points in supernatural strength.
That doesn't show. That doesn't show physically.
Oh, right.
It's supernatural. When you hit somebody, the power of your demon comes through in your punch. Think of it like Shaolin abilities. It doesn't show. No one ever sees it. You could have 2 points in strength and 5 points in supernatural strength, and you could walk around looking like your average skinny little dude from Kids in the Hall, and then slap somebody and watch his head come off his shoulders and go flying across the room.
So here's my stuff. Physical, I have 2 strength, 2 dex, 2 stamina.
Okay.
I figured
You're an average-looking
right?
dude. You are absolutely an average-looking dude.
Socially is 3 charisma, 3 manipulation, 2 appearance.
Okay, you look average, but you are excellent at talking to people.
And mental is 3 perception, 2 intelligence, 2 wits.
Mine is 4 perception, 2 intelligence, 2 wit.
Where did you put the 7 points, James?
You know what? That would be 1 then, in that case. My 7 was into social.
Into social. So 1, 2, 3 are already there, so you have 7 more points to spend.
Shit, okay.
Yeah, see, I was wondering, you didn't have enough. I was like, okay, hang on a second. Because don't count the 3 points that are already circled in. You have 7 on top of that. Yeah. Basically, total should be 10 when you're done.
Right.
So my charisma, my manipulation, and my appearance will all be 2.
Okay, you are perfectly average. You're not socially awkward, but you're not socially adept either.
Yeah. My guy he's a fighter, man.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I mean, Muhammad Ali was a fighter who had a phenomenal charisma.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he absolutely was incredibly charismatic. But this guy is just like, I get in the ring, I pull people, I go home.
With a manipulation of 3, you are a pretty damn good salesman. With a manipulation of 5, you can convince a person to kill themselves.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so that's gonna be 4.
Yeah. Okay. With a manipulation of 4, you are like political level or of the ability to convince people to do what you want. You are like. You could easily become a politician. You could easily become a top salesman for like a world-class company. You're a PR man for government.
Right.
They want you out there in front of the camera most of the time.
Okay.
You have no trouble
my
conning.
Social is 3 charisma, 4 manipulation, and 3 appearance.
Okay. You are exceptionally handsome. You're a good-looking guy. You go to the bar and guys watch you like, how the fuck is he doing that? Because you walk in and 2 minutes later you're talking to the best girl in the place.
Right.
And she's hanging on your every word, and 5 minutes later she's blowing you in the bathroom.
Yep.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Sounding like plan to you.
And what's funny is, like, even when some big beefy guy decides he's had enough of you being so hotshot and wants to take you on, you somehow manage to talk him out of it. Like the next thing you know, he wants to drag you outside and beat the crap out of you, and the bouncers are flocking around. The next thing you know, you guys are laughing and having a beer, and okay.
Yeah, no, that sounds exactly like what I'm hoping for this guy to be.
Yeah.
Oh, I never thought about it that way, man.
Yeah. Oh, dude, and then next you're giving him advice on how to pick up girls. It's like, dude, I'll wingman for you. It's all good, bro. Because you don't have an axe to grind. You're not big and tough, and you don't have anything to prove. Mentally, again, you're as smart as you need to be. Perception is exactly what it sounds like. Intelligence is exactly what it sounds like. It's book learning, and wits is reaction time. It's also like perception is visually and mentally picking up on what's around you. Wits is catching the pun, catching the sarcasm. Good wits is detecting lies. Mm-hmm. You have your wits about you. You notice things. You notice the little movement of his eye. Perception is more what we generally think of as perception.
Okay, so that's going to be... Okay, I have a 2 perception, 2 intelligence, and 3 wit.
Okay, a 3 wit is good.
Someone who's possessed by a demon.
Yeah.
Of, like, who's going to be a sniper type of deal.
Oh, yeah.
I could sacrifice physical perception for mental perception.
Yeah, think of wits as anti-bluff.
Right.
As it's also the kind of thing where when you're in a room, perception is noticing that like the police are surrounding the place before anyone else does. Wits is noticing that the air in the room, like the attitude in the room, suddenly got hostile.
Yeah. Right.
All right, so talents, again, what you think? Alertness and perception, alertness and wits. They tend to combine together. Usually you're going to combine an attribute with one of the ones below it to make a roll. So dexterity and drive, dexterity and firearms, strength and, or dexterity in pretty much any combat, and damage is strength.
Okay.
If you want to intimidate somebody, you could. Let's say if you wanted to use your strength to intimidate someone, bending an iron bar in front of them is a pretty intimidating thing to do. If you have no charisma, no manipulation, but you still want to be intimidating because you are strong enough to literally crush a cue ball in your hand, yeah, that's intimidating. As long as you don't say anything when you do it, because if you do, you're going to sound goofy.
Yep. And we are here to pump you up, crush cue ball.
Yeah. Guys like
John.
Yeah.
My skills so far, I've filled everything out.
Okay.
I've got 3 alertness, 4 brawl.
And remember, again, you got to choose, right? You got to choose primary, secondary, tertiary. It wasn't like they didn't have to go talent, skills, knowledge.
They're in order of which ones. It worked out in order of talents, abilities.
Okay, yeah, you want more talent than anything for your type of character.
Yeah. So 3 alertness, 4 brawl, 4 intimidation, 2 dodge.
Okay.
2 firearms, 5 melee, 2 survival.
Okay.
2 investigation, 2 medicine, 1 occult.
2 investigation. All right, you're actually good enough to get like beginner's PI investigator's license kind of thing. You're actually really, really good at doing research. Your search foo on the internet is phenomenal. People come to you and say, "Hey, man, could you find this for me?"
That makes sense.
I've been all over the internet.
Alert dude. He's probably a street dude, honestly, but he's not super street wise. Is the thing. He ended up either. I'm thinking.
You said medicine otherwise?
Brazen detective type deal, or the title fighter. Yep.
You've got medicine otherwise, you said?
Yeah, 2 medicine, 2 investigation, and 1 occult.
And 1 occult. 1 occult because you like to learn about things. So in all of investigating, you've learned about the occult.
Yeah.
Medicine of 2, you are a paramedic. You know as much about medicine. Well, hey, just working with the fight doctors.
Yeah, literally, just knowing how not to let myself fucking die in my sleep after I go home from a fight.
Pretty much. You said you have 5 melee. You're fucking Batman, okay?
Yeah.
Let's not.
I have 5 melee and 4 brawl.
You absolutely. Okay. 4 brawl and 5 melee. 4 brawl means at one time you could have been a contender for the world title in whatever martial art you had.
I simply didn't go for the shot.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, maybe you did.
Could have been
maybe you did, and now you're older and you're just past it. Maybe your heyday is beyond you. You could be in your 40s at this point and be retired.
True.
Hell, a good chunk of the reason why you're possessed may be you weren't ready to give it up.
I actually think that would contribute greatly to this guy. Like, his whole thing has got to be that he's clutching to every shred, because that's all he was that pride and glory of that time.
Okay,
He isn't a person.
5 points in melee. Think of the best, and I mean world's best swordsman, Olympic class fencing. I'm not talking about pick one. You literally are an Olympic class fencer. You're like a 5th Dan black belt with bow staff. You're also one of those Shaolin guys who walks around stabbing themselves in the throat with spears. No problem. Yep. You know how to do that. Like, you can pick up, by 5, you are past master. You are the sensei. People come to you from around the world to learn how to fight with eskrima sticks, and like, you're like one of these guys who on YouTube has a channel where he talks about HEMA, you know, and unlike most places where all the comments are like, yeah, fucker, you don't know nothing, man. No, everyone is glued to your channel.
Yeah. This is the guy who responds with videos to the other guys' channels and says, actually, you guys fucked up.
Yeah. You have a nickname like the cat or something, because you move like a cat. Cool.
Literally, he's just supposed to be this fighter who his whole life he was like, he had aspirations, he had dreams, he kind of fell by the wayside. Maybe, like, his day job didn't work out so well, and he just came down to bare-knuckle underground fighting.
Yep.
And he learned that this is something that just happens for me, and I'm incredible at it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, just like that, he's no longer able to lift a fist quite the same without hearing that creak in his shoulder. He's not able to straighten his back the right way. He can't take a hit the same way.
Okay, so with 5, make yourself a note. With 5 points in melee, make yourself a note. There is no physical weapon that you cannot use proficiently. You take no penalty. I don't care if you try to beat somebody up with a bowling ball. It works.
Yes.
You literally don't take a penalty. You don't take penalties for improvising weapons. At 5 points in melee, every weapon is a weapon. There's no such thing as improvised anymore. That's once you hit 5, you don't take penalties for improvisation.
Yeah, no penalty for improv weapons. I put with an asterisk.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
no,
then
literally.
Firearms 2, survival 2.
Firearms 2 means you know how to shoot. You know how to shoot.
Yeah,
you're not highly trained, but you're an average. You're your average American goes to the range kind of guy.
Guy owns a handgun, probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
So how many points do I get for my shit?
Okay, they're all written at the bottom. Okay, so physical, social, mental, you have your 753 based on how you wanted them. Choose whether you want talent, skills, or knowledge to be first. Where do you want the most points? You want the most points in skills? You put 13 points.
Okay.
And remember that those are not the only skills. If you can think of a skill in anything, go ahead.
Nice.
Okay.
Those are just common skills.
Does that reflect disciplines? Because now I need my disciplines.
No, disciplines are your powers.
Okay, so let's hash out some pride demon powers that I could.
Again, go with the three. Go with the 3 physical. You have supernatural strength, supernatural toughness, and supernatural speed, and you can have 3 points total to start with.
I guess I have 1 in each.
There you go. You hit a lot harder than people expect you to. You can tank a hell of a lot more damage than people expect, and you move faster than anybody you've ever seen. In the 6 seconds, in a 6-second round, you take 2 actions where literally every other human on Earth takes 1.
That's amazing. Now, backgrounds.
Hang on a second. I'm going to let James start filling stuff out. Yeah, while you're doing backgrounds, Caboose, automatically give yourself resources of 3.
Okay, so like.
Don't worry about the points. Don't worry about the cost. Give yourself a resources of 3, because you have you've lived a pretty good life. You put some money aside. You have access at any given time. As a let's say like a one-shot deal, you could drop your credit card and spend 10 grand.
Okay,
now,
cool.
You couldn't do it every day. You'd have to wait a long time to earn back that $10,000. But in an emergency, you can easily get your hands on $10,000.
Right. So would you say, so resources 3, would I put in my job as like a title fighter?
You don't have a job anymore. You don't have a job anymore.
No.
You're retired.
I'm a retired title fighter.
Yeah, people still recognize you from time to time, depending on what part of the world you're in. But you're doing your best to stay off.
More.
You're doing your best to stay off the radar.
Right. Makes sense. It probably sucks to see a fucking young face in a magazine.
Yeah.
I got I put a drive of 1.
Okay, you can drive a car.
I assume it's driving a vehicle.
Yeah, you can drive a car. The only time you need those points is when you're trying to do tricks. You know,
so in that case, no.
Yeah.
I'm going to do etiquette for 1.
Okay.
Because he's a charismatic young man.
Mm-hmm.
Firearms of 4, security of 2, stealth of 4, and survival of 2.
Okay. With a firearms of 4, you have like top quality world class sniper training. JTF 2. You can fire almost any small arm in the world. You can don't be afraid to rattle off a bunch of bullshit about things like muzzle velocities. I don't care if it's real or not, but don't be afraid to always be talking about stuff like muzzle velocities and you know how the Coriolis effect really messes up hitting a target at like a mile and a half. Like that's the kind of stuff that it's bread and butter to you. You are one more point, you would have been dead shot.
Literally dead shot from that scene where he's just.
Yeah.
No, I know. Yeah.
Stealth of 4, you're only noticed when you want to be.
Cool. That's exactly what I want.
You're like you're almost a human ghost. You've learned to walk. You shop for clothing that's designed to make no noise when you move. You know. You automatically wear shoes that make no noise when you walk on them. You've learned how to control your breathing. You don't cough or sneeze unless you bloody well want to. You know?
Nice.
Yeah, you're ninja level, hobbit level. Don't worry about it. So you would be using dexterity and stealth when you do anything. So you'd be rolling 7 dice, and the basic difficulty to not be noticed is whatever their perception is. Basically, if there's a guard, I take a look at what his perception and alertness is. Let's say on average it's 4. So your difficulty is 4.
Okay.
You roll the dice, everything that's a 4 or more is a success. One of the nice things is, I'm going to institute this because rolling a lot of dice sometimes gets boring, especially when you have to count up successes. There's 2 things. Ones count as a botch. They take away a success. So that's important if you roll a 1. 10s allow you to roll another die, a bonus. It's a success, and you get a bonus die. The other thing is, if the difficulty is equal to or less than your skill level, so let's say you have a stealth and dexterity. Let's say your stealth is 4, and I tell you the difficulty is 4 to sneak by this guy. You can say, okay, well, I just do it because you can say I get 1 automatic success and it's good enough, unless you want to try for some really spectacular thing. But if you just need to get the job done and the difficulty is equal to or less than what your skill is, you can just say you do it. This isn't nobody ever fails to breathe, right?
Right.
And so if you are let's say driving, that's why drive skill is only important if you want to do tricks. Most people drive a car down the road and don't crash it.
Right, exactly.
It's only important if you're in a police chase. If you're in a police chase, then you damn well better have some high-tech driving skills.
Oh yeah.
So that's where it comes from. So if the standard difficulty for any task, unless it's opposed, is a 2. So, you know, basically anything but a 1. So I don't make you roll to breathe every round in case you choke on the air. You know, I'm not going to make you roll to do things that are just stupid easy.
Right.
Okay, so continuing.
How many points do I get for my secondary?
Your secondary, it's written down here, just a second.
It's at the bottom.
9. So you get 9 in the next one.
Oh, and then 5. Okay. Yeah,
and then 5 in the last one. Okay, so Caboose, you have give yourself 5 pounds. Give yourself 3 points in resources. You are reasonably well off financially. You're not making any more money now because you've retired, but you weren't stupid about what you did with your money.
Yeah, I kept it at least.
Yeah, you have money in the bank. At any given time, you could easily access 10 grand, and per week, let's say, you're earning the average paycheck of about like $700-800 bucks. Like you can easily get $700 or $800 every week, no problem. That's what your income is coming in. You have a bunch of videos out from like 10 years ago when you did these like, boxer size videos, and you get royalties from them.
Yeah, I'm still getting royalties.
Yeah, you get royalties from a lot of different things. You've still got residuals from videos of some of your better fights, things like that. And so you're always getting a little bit trickle of money coming in. That's what it is. You have 3 points in resources. You're upper middle class. You're not rich, but you're also not poor. Give yourself 3 points in contact. You have
basically the way I picture this guy, John.
Yep.
Is like Henry Rollins' character from He Never Died.
Pretty much.
That's all I've pictured this guy as.
Except imagine him like a lot bigger.
Yeah, much bigger.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so I got the rest of my
demeanor,
stats.
just
Okay.
kind of don't.
Let me just finish up here quickly because I'll get to the bottom of backgrounds. Remember that the disciplines don't show. So
Right.
the only thing that shows is your physical, and of course your appearance. But yeah, okay. Give yourself 3 points in contacts and come up with 3 individual people in the let's say the mixed martial arts type game who are your contacts around the world. You can contact them to get information. They're friendly to you and they will try to help you with information only.
Okay.
Or they can hook you up. Let's say you need to buy a gun or you want to buy a cool katana. They can hook you up.
Right,
They
I
won't
need
give it
weapons.
to you, but they'll hook you up with the seller, kind of thing. That's what a contact does.
I
Underneath,
have contacts.
right. Underneath that, give yourself 2 points in allies. Okay, so you have 2 people who, again, from in the fight game kind of thing, an old manager, an old sparring buddy, who you can count on to show up and help if, let's say, you're in their city. Hey, I happen to be in New York and I crash on your couch. Yeah, no problem, man. They won't kill and die for you necessarily, but you can count on them in a pinch to help out with a place to hide, to keep things quiet, to pay off a hooker, little things, just to avoid you getting into any serious trouble. They know you well. They owe you a favor. They're always they're willing to help. You can't abuse it because eventually they'll be like, no, I don't know you shit anymore. Thank you.
Yeah, it makes sense. I like that. So far, for one contact, I've got Donald Birch, who might be a guy that I trained with when I was doing like cadet or PI or whatever
There
I was
you go.
before I was a fighter.
Cool.
Who's an arms intel guy.
I took my 1 off of etiquette and
Yep.
I put my 5th into firearms just because I
Okay.
want to be Deadshot.
Yeah, you literally are. It's all, you just don't miss. You are probably one of the world's greatest snipers. Whether or not anyone knows it is different.
Right.
It depends on your background. It depends on why you are one of the world's greatest shots. If you worked for organized crime around the world, you literally didn't work for any one group. You were this shadowy figure who they referred to as, something Deadshot-ish. You could literally call yourself
Right.
Deadshot if you felt like it. And people like everyone from the Yakuza to the IRA to the Italian mob would place a phone call to a number somewhere where you had an agent working who didn't even know what you looked like, and he would email you, and there would be a drop box, and then out of nowhere, some dude would just die. That's basically it. Things got a little too hot for you at one point. You made enemies with some terrorist organizations, and you found out that they were, again, if that's the background you want, or you could have been ex-military. People know who you are. You were you were literally the greatest shot in the U.S. military or the Russian military or whatever for years and years, and then you retired and you went to work for the Russian mob, or you didn't, or you became a lobbyist for the NRA. Whether or not you were an assassin or military, or whether or not you just were an Olympic class shooter who liked it, eventually you wound up here.
Nice.
The reasons why is for you to figure out.
Okay.
But with 5, you can make your own gun given an hour and some tools.
Right.
You could
Okay.
literally stick together a piece of copper pipe, an old broom handle, and like the spring from a clothespin, and you could knock together a gun that could kill somebody at 100 yards.
Nice.
This is you. Guns are you. Probably with 5 points in firearms, you could even fire a slingshot hard enough to kill somebody at 50 feet.
Not surprised.
Like, yeah, you don't miss. You anything that is mechanically throwing something. So that includes crossbows, blow darts, like just anything where you aim a tube
And then you shoot. Yeah.
and then you shoot is right there in your wheelhouse. So basically the same as Caboose. No penalty for improvising a firearm.
Nice.
And if anybody's listening, this is how you build characters in a new system where people don't know. Don't be afraid to give them a lot of rope to hang themselves. Don't be afraid to give them a lot of points and good background. The more they feel the character, the more they're going to play it, and not rely on the numbers that are in front of them.
So I have 2 allies, right?
Yeah, you have 2 allies. You have 2 people who you can count on out there in the world.
So I've got my old fight manager, Felder McMahon.
There you go. He lives in a city somewhere, and if you're ever in town, he's really pissed off if you don't stop by for dinner.
Yeah, he'll give me a place to stay. He'll feed me. Yeah, come on in.
Yep.
That whole deal. And then my contacts: Donald Birch, Arms Weapons Intel; Charlie Huyen, World Heme Associate Historian; Victor Komokov, Old Boy from the Family Gang.
Bingo. So you have resources, you have contacts, you have allies.
Gracious.
No, they're contacts. They're contacts.
Yeah.
They know you, they like you, but they don't owe you anything.
Yeah,
but,
they don't owe me shit.
No, but if you were to tell them, hey, listen, I heard about this, that, and the other, they don't mind telling you. It's not like, oh, who the fuck are you? I don't tell you nothing. No, you're a buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
Or if you say, hey, listen, I broke my really, really cool katana, man. I need something new. And he's like, dude, I'll hook you up with a seller. I'll hook you up with my guy. It's fine.
I love it.
You'll have to pay for it,
I think
but
I have background for my guy.
Okay.
So his name is Gottfried Schock. He used to be a part of the German army, and was, mortally wounded at some point and recovered miraculously. And he was one of the best snipers in the entire German military. And he kind of had like this hero story, and eventually he just kind of fell by the wayside, and everyone forgot about him after he had his 5 minutes of fame. And so in order to get back into the picture, more so his own picture, and kind of live up to the expectations that he had of himself, he started to get into shit like the black market. He started to get into shit like being a hitman for hire. And eventually he found a lot of really good ground as, being like a sniper, just an assassin type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And he's one of those guys where it's like, if you make a phone call and you wiretap enough money through to some kind of mysterious source and you dead drop the information at a specific point in time, within the next day, someone will end up dead, and no one will know how.
Perfect. The group you belong to is called GSG-9.
Oh.
You were...
He's part of the GSG-9.
He was part of GSG-9, Counterterrorism, Hostage Rescue, and Special Operations Police Unit of the German Federal Police.
Nice.
At the state level, they're also called the Special Deployment Commandos. You were a sharpshooter. You were actually also an Olympic sharpshooter before then, which is how you got linked up by them. Gold medal Olympics when you were very young, and then you went into GSG-9. Right. After you were wounded and survived, but should have died, but survived, and of course, after being wounded that seriously, there's no way you could continue in the military, and what you didn't tell anybody was you weren't hurt at all. Like, you were hurt, and it felt like you were going to die, and then all of a sudden, you were fine. Like, you faked the limp for a while, and you faked to, like, being tender and in pain, but it didn't hurt.
Only because you couldn't explain it.
Yeah, basically because you couldn't explain it. You had no idea what was going on. You kind of thought you were losing your mind and going schizophrenic because there was a voice in your head, and it would whisper to you sometimes, and your dreams were like of hellfire and damnation and weird things, and Some of your dreams became almost vision-like, and they would like point out people who were going to do horrendously bad things. You actually managed to prevent, without anyone realizing it, because you are a sharpshooter, you managed to prevent 2 or 3 terrorist attacks in Berlin by killing key people literally the day before.
Nice.
Nice, James.
And eventually you became kind of okay with it. You weren't done. You still felt you had things to do, and okay, whatever was in you wasn't very nice. You know this. You know that whatever's got you, whatever's making you do things, isn't nice. It doesn't want good things, but at the same time, it seems to be directing you to help the world in some way. Mm-hmm. Everything you've done, every killing you've done, as far as you're concerned in your own mind, is for the right reason.
Right.
Nice. So my dude's name is just Reese Harlow. RHYS.
Cool.
And I think his character sheet is more or less done. This is what I've got thus far.
Okay. Keep your character sheets in front of you. That's cool. I'll let you work with those.
So what are my backgrounds that I got going on?
Yeah, give me a sec. Reese Harlow. Caboose. Former MMA HEMA. World-class fighter. I just want
this guy was like if Steven Seagal wasn't that big of a joke.
Yeah, no kidding. And sorry, James, give me your name again, just so I can write it down.
Gottfried, Gottfried, Schock, Schock.
Gottfried Schock, former GSG9. Look up GSG9, James, to give you an idea of what you were looking at.
No, I have them in front of me.
Okay,
they're spooply.
Yeah, they really are. Former
they look fucking crazy.
GSG9 sharpshooter. Currently hitman for hire. What do you do right now, Reese Harlow?
Reese Harlow right now is retired.
Right. Retired. Okay.
And he probably fucking hates it.
Yep. Retired and looking for adventure.
I've made him out to be the kind of guy who, besides what he did really well, didn't go out of his way to connect with people, and as it is, like, being that way throughout his life, in his old age now, he's really just kind of a loner.
Yeah, the only people who know you to see you are people who are from the fight game. The average person in the street has no idea who Reese Harlow is. Or if they did remember who Reese Harlow is, they don't recognize you.
My only friends, Felder McMahon, my old manager, and Lance Harold, the first ring nemesis of Reese and closest friend besides Felder.
Cool.
Yep.
Okie dokie. Both of you, hang on a second, you've got your character sheets basically made. Oh, you need backgrounds. That's right.
Yeah, I need resources and allies and crap.
Resources, give yourself like 4 points. You are wealthy. Since you have taken up no longer being a member of GSG9 and taking up being a hitman, there is always money. It doesn't come in unless you go out and earn it. But at any given time, you can grab like $150,000. Now, you won't be able to do it the next day. You'll have to wait until more money comes in. But you've pretty much always got a cushion of about 150 grand that you can grab in an emergency. On a weekly basis, you have no problem getting 10% of that. So like $1,500 a week. If you spend $1,500 a week, you will never go broke.
Cool.
Okay. You probably own a pretty damn nice car. Like a Lexus or a Mercedes or a BMW. Chances are you don't even care. You just bought it because whatever, it does the job. It's good.
Right.
Why not? You spend the money. You have customized. You wear nice suits. You don't be afraid to be fancy. You are exceptionally manipulative. You are exceptionally charismatic. You were probably, aside from being a sniper, you were probably also one of their top hostage negotiators.
Okay.
Like, literally, with the amount of manipulation that you have, you were probably one of their top hostage negotiators, and you got pissed off because some asshole shot you.
Yeah.
So you probably have contacts in GSG9, Interpol, Scotland Yard, the FBI. Give yourself like 5 points in contacts, okay?
Cool.
In just mark police. Chances are in any of the major developed world police departments, you know at least one person who you can tap for information.
Right.
You probably also have 1 or 2 contacts in the underworld, who are maybe not as willing to help you all the time, but confidential informants who you manage to cultivate. Said, listen, I don't give a shit about the little bit of dope you sell on the side. Just, I want information on the higher ups.
Right.
You know, pot is one thing, getting people blown up in terrorist attacks is another. Allies, you probably have none. You've alienated an awful lot of people since you went down, and you were quite arrogant to begin with. But you have resources, you have contacts. Give yourself points in other backgrounds if you can think of things like that. Probably not too much. You guys tend to stay on your own and do your own thing. Now, for disciplines, what sort of
some kind of aim?
Aim, stealth, obviously.
Yeah.
Give yourself a discipline called obfuscation.
Me? Or...
Yes. Give yourself a discipline called obfuscation. Obfuscation literally means you don't get noticed unless you want to be. It's supernatural stealth. The first point of it, you have to take cover, but once you are at least half concealed by cover, you just disappear from people's minds.
Okay.
From there, you can, like, as long as you stay behind that cover, people, it's not that they don't see you, they know you're there, but in their minds, you are not there. You do not see Thog.
Yeah.
And literally, they will walk around you. Like, and everybody thinks that they're walking perfectly straight. That they're walking perfectly straight past that pillar. But they're making a deliberate detour around you. You don't appear on cameras. You don't sound recording devices don't pick up your voice. That kind of thing. So you can walk.
Can even just be envy zone aura.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
taking what you put out and distorting it from everything else.
That's it. And it's one of these things. The camera does pick you up, but when someone looks at the footage, they don't see you. Their brain will not allow them to. It won't allow them to admit that you're there.
Yeah. That's cool as fuck.
Yep.
Cool.
You jealously guard your secrets.
I am Excitebike.
Obfuscate. What else would be good for you? Domination. With the first point of domination, you can give a person a one-word command that they will obey. If you tell them to sleep, they will lie down and go to sleep. If you tell them to stop, they will stop. If you tell them to walk, they will walk. They will walk right off a bridge.
Nice.
Can
I combine that with some kind of gesture?
That's later. The first point is a one-word command that the person must obey. Some of the strongest willed people in the world, and he'll lie there and pretend to die. He'll play dead. He won't actually die, but he'll be like a dog and play dead. Again, people with extremely high willpower will sometimes be able to shrug it off, especially if they know about the occult and they know about this sort of thing, but very rarely. The average person will do what you tell them to. More points comes to the point where you can start giving them complex commands.
Okay.
And once you get to like 3 and 4 and 5 points in domination, you can start adjusting their memories.
Cool.
It's literally, you will change the light bulb. I will change the light bulb. You will forget you changed the light bulb. What light bulb? Yeah, the only problem is if you mess with an individual person's memory a bit too much, they start going crazy and getting brain damage.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, but yeah,
If
you
put our
can
characters
wipe
together-
people's memories of things. And the last one, which is perfect for an envy demon, this has nothing to do with being a sniper, but I'm going to give you the emotion one, which was what the Toreador had, and it is called. Let's just call it emotional control.
Okay.
In the first point, I'm trying to remember now. I know at 5 points it's called Majesty, and everybody is literally in awe of you and thinks of you as literally the king of the world. They want to be around you. They love you. There's nothing they wouldn't do for you. They fawn all over you. As long as they can feel emotions, they feel every emotion about you.
Okay.
Let me just look up the.
What's the first point?
That's what I'm checking now.
Put our characters together, James. It's John Wick.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, the ability is called Presence. It's the discipline of supernatural allure and emotional manipulation. I'm stealing this right from them.
Presence. One of the best Led Zeppelin albums.
Official abilities. The first one is called Awe. Once you employ the power, those who are near you want to be closer to you, or they shudder in fear away from you. They're in awe of you. It's an immediate and intense attraction or revulsion or fear, but it's temporal, so it's not so overpowering that they lose their sense of self-preservation, right? Like any sort of danger will break the spell. Like if in the middle of a firefight, you couldn't do this to somebody, but if you wanted to, but if you put this on top of your manipulation, you could convince, let's just say you could convince a nun to blow you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you could convince an entire Catholic school or school to run out and rob a bank, and become a prostitution ring. Like this is literally no problem. You can get, and it goes up. If you look it up under online, you'll see it goes up dot by dot.
Right.
In fact, all the way up into 6 and 7 points, which is really, really rare because it's even among, let's say, vampires. That's not a good thing to do.
Right.
At that point, you're making stuff up. The second dot is Dread Gaze. You can literally instill unbearable terror in someone. Like, literally, you look at them, go fuck off, and you make a demonic face. And if you get enough of a success versus their willpower, or if you like double somebody's willpower with a success, they could have a heart attack and die from fear. It's rare because most people aren't that weak-willed, but it could happen. Entrancement, level 3, just being around you, people obsessively want to please you, to the point where, like, they'll ignore their own families. They're just madly in love with you, and they just want you to be happy. They want you to be happy to the point where if you beat them up, they'll be like, "Are you happy?"
Thank you, boss.
Think you may have another.
Quite literally, it's like, if you're happy, that's okay. Summon. The fourth one is summon. Anyone who you've had contact with, you can summon them, and they will drop whatever they're doing and come to you. And the last one is Majesty. You appear as a figure of absolute power and authority. You can influence an area, affect like a concert hall or a theater full of people to literally love you and listen to you and believe in you and agree with you. So think of it as as a politician's perfect weapon.
Right.
And we could look up domination as well. You can look up domination and obfuscation as well, because they exist as powers, and they kind of make sense for your type of character. So I don't mind lifting them. If you want to make some small adjustments to them, they'll go ahead. This is just as they as they work.
Yeah, I'm looking at them right now. Obfuscate cannot remain hidden so long as you don't move.
Yeah, but the point is, like, even if someone walks up to where you're standing, they'll deliberately not see you. Yeah, the first one, as long as you don't move, they won't see you. Even if they could step right on you and find an excuse as to why they stepped on something. It won't be you.
Right.
So command, yeah. Dominate is a simple one-word target that a simple one-word order that a target must obey. The second one is mesmerize. If you hold a target with your gaze, you can implant false thoughts or hypnotic suggestions. The third one is forgetful mind. You literally rewrite their memories so that you can like, Men in Black them. 4 is conditioning. Over time, you can make someone a target. You can make someone a slave to your will. You mess with their mind and their memories to the point where they think that you're their master. And the last one is actual possession. Transfer your mind into a mortal body and control their actions.
And that's what, dominate?
Yeah, that's the fifth. That's like the fifth level of dominate. These are hard to get because they take a lot to do, and it literally possession is what the demons are doing to you. Right. But they're not really. They have a version of it, which is that they ride along and influence your actions, but they cannot ever take you over and make you do anything if you have any of your humanity left.
Okay.
They're literally trying to get you to use up all of your humanity. Speaking of which, humanity. Well, how do we figure out a good starting level for humanity? Let's give you guys you have full control of your humanity. You have 10 points in humanity. Okay? And over the course of the game, there may be instances where you have to fight with your self-control or lose your humanity.
Okay. So what's the scale for our humanity? Is 5 out of 5?
10 points.
10 points.
You notice there are 10 dots there? Fill them up.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. And you have 3 points to put in your disciplines. If you want to point in each of them, that's fine. If you want to double up on anything, that's also fine.
Yeah, I'm going to do one into each one.
And then you have self-control. Willpower. You have willpower, which is... you have 7 freebie points to spend, so you'll have to choose how much you put into willpower, how much you put into... Your willpower is your ability to obviously resist mental effects, but you can also choose to temporarily spend a point of willpower, which you'll get back at the end of the gaming session, to gain an automatic success on a roll. So if you have a really difficult roll ahead of you, a really difficult attempt, you can burn a point of willpower to add 1 automatic success to whatever you roll.
Nice.
Back, lads.
Then...
Oh, you went somewhere? I didn't even notice.
I BRB'd.
Oh, yeah. And then, that's fine. We're just working on we're just giving him his character here. So, yeah, James can emotionally influence people, mentally push them around, and pass almost completely unnoticed as long as he stays still.
Yes, I heard that.
So humanity, give yourself 10 points in humanity. You've got fill your pool, and we will try. Yeah, you see, yeah, you'll notice in your humanity it's got 10 dots. So give yourself 10 points, and over the course of the game, there may be instances where you have to struggle to keep that humanity.
Okay, so here's Reese Harlow's full character sheet then.
Yeah, willpower. Give yourself 7 points in willpower each. You both have good, solid, above average strength of will. As I was telling James, willpower is obviously you roll it, or it becomes the difficulty for opponents to influence you mentally, to do a few other things. And sometimes some abilities are against your willpower as a difficulty, but you can also do there's 2 major things you can do with your will. One of them is you can spend a point of willpower temporarily, which you will get back usually at the end of the session, in order to get an automatic success on it. So if you have a really, really tough roll, Caboose, let's say coming up, let's say the difficulty is 8 or something, you can burn a point of willpower to get 1 success and then roll to see how many more you get.
Nice.
The other thing you can do with your willpower is you can spend a point of willpower to shrug off or ignore an effect like, let's say, domination, like James has. if an enemy is trying to do something like that to you or intimidate you or whatever, and it's working, you can spend a point of your will to summon up your mental faculties and shrug it off. And again, that weakens your will pool, but you do get your full willpower back at the end of the session.
Perfect.
Other than that, when you have combat, it's usually dexterity. If you get hit, it's your stamina. That you roll your stamina, and every success takes away a point of damage you take. And I might just go. If it's basic damage, it's automatic. If it's whatchamacallit, aggravated damage, then you need supernatural strength, or your stamina doesn't help, basically. Or you can roll, or depending on what the damage is, if it's supernatural in nature, then your stamina might not work. I'll play it by ear, but generally, if it's like aggravated damage, I'll let you roll your stamina to try and soak it. And if it's regular damage, then your stamina will automatically soak it. So the tougher you are, the harder you are to hurt.
Nice.
Okay.
And if you have supernatural toughness like you, Caboose, then that point automatically soaks anything. It's 1 point less damage regardless.
Okay.
So
we'll have to
my
play
other-
through an actual combat for me to get the whole gist, but
Yeah.
I think I understand.
Okay.
My other shit, by the way, because I know I did skills. I didn't tell you guys about knowledge or talents. Talents is alertness 2, dodge 2, and subterfuge 1.
Okay. You're not a good liar.
knowledge
You're not a
is-
good liar, but you're so manipulative, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Right. And then knowledge is computer 2, investigation 3, occult 1, science 3.
Okay. 3 points in science, you could literally be a professor of physics.
Cool.
Yeah, you understand probably mostly the science of ballistics. But yeah, like you don't just know the physical aspects of firearms, you know literally the science behind smokeless powder, the metallurgy in all of your weapons, the ballistics. You can look at a situation where let's say a firefight took place and actually plot out arcs of fire.
Where each shot came from. and shit like
Literally. Between investigation and science, yeah. You also know the branch overs of things like alchemy in that with occult and science. And and 2 points in computers, you're your average, pretty good computer user. Your search who's not bad. You can use almost any computer. You understand how they work and that kind of thing. You can usually like you're not like me who hands his cell phone to the kids and says, "Here, figure this stupid thing out for me." you're the opposite.
Can I actually move a point of medicine into my occult?
Absolutely. 1 point of medicine means you know basic first aid. You can see St. John's ambulance. You've taken a St. John's ambulance course, and you can probably bandage up your cuts, and you know how to put in stitches. It's not that big a deal.
I actually have done that.
And
I think I'm actually a 3rd level.
2 points in occult means that you have actually a little bit of you know more than the average idiot on the internet claims that he knows.
Later in Reese's life, and this is kind of how I'm going to tie in the Pride Demon, whether he knows it or not, he started to research this occult theme of the hero whose everlasting glory does not know any bounds.
Yeah.
He wanted to understand how to attain that level of heroism. He wasn't just a brawler. He wanted to be that title, that best fighter in the world. He missed his shot.
Mm-hmm. You've actually traveled to a few places in the world where there are actual ley lines and stuff, and like I said, you know more than the average punk kid who claims he knows stuff about the occult.
John, I put
And
up
studying
my
mystic
text
martial
document
arts, too.
for my agent.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna start looking at these.
Yeah, studying martial
Mine's
arts
big.
to the
That's
extent
fine.
that my character does, too, he would absolutely understand the mysticism and, like, at least some aspect of the occult behind it. Because there's, of course, Onmyo-Do, Onmyo-Ji, lots of stuff like that.
I'll be back
Yep.
in a minute. I gotta pee.
Okie doke.
Okay.
10 humanity, 7 willpower. Perfectly cool. I think this system will work well because it's the modern world by night. Is the idea of these.
This is what I've tried to write.
The world of their combat can get clunky, so that's why. But not too bad. I mean, because there's a lot of rolls involved. There's like the roll for this and a roll for that and a roll for this and a roll for that. And you got to count up. Basically, you need a pile of 10-sided dice.
I have one 10-sided.
This is gonna suck. I actually have Vampire the Masquerade 10-sided dice. They're really, really. I'll send you a picture. They're ultra sharp, hard edged, and they're black with deep blood red lettering and a bloody rose for the one, or a red rose for the one.
I have some elven dice that are really nice, and they came in a set, and I think they had like 2 d10s with them. Looking through my fucking... Here it is. My nerd gear.
Much better. Much better.
There you go.
Okay, so yes.
What am I looking for?
Got
here?
my additional elven dice here.
Yeah, you're gonna need a pile of d10s. That's literally it.
I have 1 d10. I will roll it many times.
I'm like, ah!
Wait, no.
I have
fuck me. I have
so...
an app. I can make as many d10s
Yeah, there
come
you go.
into the filler
I have
as I want.
Yeah, I'll do that.
so many.
I'll just do a dice roller.
It's funny because I used to play this system so much. I was telling Caboose I have so many 10s. I actually have vampire d10s specifically for the game, which are black with blood red lettering and a red rose for the one.
Oh
Nice,
yeah, John.
that's cool.
I'm about to send this picture into chat. You guys will appreciate it.
Saving your document here. Okay.
I don't know what it is. It's just the Envy Demon just looks really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the Envy Demon a lot. I like all the demons. That's why it was so hard for me
That's
to
pretty
pick.
fucking cool.
Those are my elf dice.
If you want to see what we're showing off here, guys, if anyone's listening, check us out on Facebook. We have our House Storming Facebook page. And we
play a lot of D&D. Whenever we're bored and not playing video games, 9 times out of 10
pretty
we're playing
much.
D&D.
Yeah.
If
Basically,
you're a big
anytime we're not.
fucking nerd like we are, please God, come play with us.
Yep,
Please.
absolutely.
The
We
love
will
of Christ,
blow your
please.
goddamn mind.
Just come hang out with
If
us.
the Brutal Legend video is anything for any gauge to go off of, we will blow your fucking mind.
No, your self-control isn't one. It's more than that. Hang on. Give yourself a self-control. Each of you give yourself a self-control of like 3. That's the number of dice you'll roll, and I'll give you a difficulty based on each situation. I mean, sometimes. So if the difficulty is 3 or less, you can say fine, and otherwise you'll roll, and if you fail, you'll lose a point of humanity. There will be. There will also be options and opportunities to gain humanity.
Cool.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, I left that as a placeholder because I didn't know how much I had.
That's fine. 3 points. Just start with an average. Okay, so to start with, I haven't written anything, so I'm just going to get you guys started and give you an idea. Just an idea of the direction you're going to go in, because I literally have not written a damn thing.
Well, that's fine. Yeah, let's just have a fun intro campaign to get all of us used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Gottfried, you're woken by a dream, and you've come to realize, with a little bit of research and all that, that these dreams they're prophetical. Every time that you have failed to act on what you've seen in these dreams, things in the world have gone to shit.
Okay.
Not necessarily like world ending, but you realize that you failed an opportunity to make a difference.
Right.
For good or bad. And in this dream, you see yourself on an American Airlines flight, and all you hear is the captain saying, please put your trays up into the upright position and fasten your seatbelt. We're making our descent into Washington, D.C. Considering you live in Berlin, that seems a little odd.
So, that's really all I'm going on then?
Yeah, that's it. That's what you get.
Cool, okay. So, then yeah, Gottfried starts to get his shit together and starts heading towards the airport to get a ticket for DC.
No problem. Reese? Hang on a second. Let me pull up your character sheet here. I'm trying to keep.
Yeah, anything relevant,
track.
anything I write, I'll put up into the chat.
It's not a problem. I'm just pulling info up as I need it. Trying to look and see here. You get a call from Donald Birch.
Hey.
And yo, Reese.
Hey, it is you. What's going on, Donnie?
Pretty good. Listen, I was wondering if you wanted to sit in on a seminar that we are having in 2 days in DC. We'd be willing to pay you. There's like 12 grand in it plus all your travel expenses. And for the most part, you just got to sit and answer questions from fans and, I don't know, maybe sign an autograph or two.
Don, you know you can't threaten me with a good time. I'll be there.
There's a plane ticket waiting for you at the airport. I knew you'd say yes.
I'll see you anytime.
Yeah. So you are on the way from the Pacific Northwest, where you have been hanging out quietly in Oregon, and keeping your head under the radar because you felt that was again, you've learned to listen to your instinct, and your instinct was telling you to stay under the radar, to just take it easy. So now you are at Portland Airport, jumping on a plane heading for DC. Both of you arrive in DC the next day or later on in the evening, and are not met by...
For me, it'd be the next day.
Yeah, pretty much. You flew in from Berlin. You get there, you get a hotel, you're okay. You're traveling under an assumed name like you usually do when you're doing this kind of thing, and you realize you haven't the faintest goddamn idea what it is you're supposed to be doing. Where you get off the elevator and you pass by a guy who you think you recognize. You seem to remember this guy having taught a close quarters combat course when you were first in training. Wasn't he like world famous or something? And he's getting off the elevator, and as he passes, you get a whiff of sulfur.
Do I know you?
Excuse me?
You seem somehow familiar to me. You're standing in front of this dude who's like a really nice suit, right? Hair slicked back and like aviator glasses. He's got a tattoo on his neck that seems fairly out of place, but...
And it's very easy to tell that he's former Special Forces.
Yeah, I look at the tattoo, I'm looking him up and down.
It's just the way he stands.
UGSG?
I was, yes.
Yeah, I taught a few guys in your course. I think I showed you guys a few additional knife maneuvering positions and posturations for taking down close quarter engagement.
It's good to see you again. It's glad to see you're doing well.
As the two of you are talking, an incredibly tall man, I mean easily 6'9", and he's not imposing, he's just tall. Kind of looks ghoulish too, like old. Walks up and says, "Gentlemen, we are this way." And once again, you get this overpowering smell of sulfur that wafts by, and something in both of your brains just feels like it's scratching at the back of your mind.
Hey, you with Donnie? I'm supposed to be meeting Donnie here, I think. Don Birch?
Yes, we arranged for Mr. Birch to contact you. But not to worry, Mr. Birch has not been harmed. He served his purpose, and you are here. Mr. Shock.
With the seminar?
Yeah.
Yes, we are hosting a seminar here, and both of you are invited. And you look it's not hard to tell. He looks both of you in the eye, and for a moment you just see a flame dancing in his iris.
Oh, yeah.
You gentlemen are invited. And you don't feel any danger. I mean, he's quite friendly, actually. He's just, for some reason, about 90 years old, 6'9", and he smells like sulfur.
I accept your invitation.
I figured you would.
Yeah, likewise.
Gentlemen, this is, of course, of the utmost sensitivity and very important. And he leads you to one of those, convention rooms in the hotel. And it's filled, and I mean filled, with people. Different people from every walk of life, every color, every nation. I'm not going to make you guys roll anything because you have plenty of time to survey this, so it's not like a quick thing where you have to notice anything. But it's you immediately pick out a couple of guys who look like African child soldiers who grew up a bit. There's something in the way that they have that 1,000-yard stare and the way they hold themselves. You see guys who you know are Middle Eastern, like higher ups in some of the terrorist organizations, like the PLO and Hamas. Yeah, and they're talking very friendly, with somebody who you, Gottfried, recognize immediately as the guy in charge of the CIA desk against ISIS. So, obviously, there's a truce in this room.
Okay.
You recognize fighters from all over the world, Reese. You recognize people who one guy is obviously a Shaolin monk. I mean, a real Shaolin monk, not like one of these dipsticks that the Chinese government puts on TV. There's a guy who may or may not be Yakuza. He's got the tattoos well covered up, but the missing finger seems to give it away.
Right.
And every single person in the room seems very calm. You would expect this place to, if it wasn't already a riot, be on the edge of it. Everyone in this room is mellow. You do not feel the slightest bit of danger. And you're shown to seats and told that the speaker will be addressing the room in a few moments as soon as security precautions are made.
Okay.
Drinks are brought around if you want them. They almost seem to know what you want. And as you sit down, a very pretty waitress slides whatever it was you had in mind as a drink right in front of you. But her gaze goes right over you like you're not there. She walks by, puts your drink down, keeps going, and it's like she has no concept that there's anyone sitting there.
Okay.
You can, at this point, make a perception roll if you like. Because there are things to notice that it would take a perception roll to notice. So you're rolling perception plus either alertness or occult.
Or?
Yeah.
Well, I guess at this point, alertness gives me a better bonus.
There you go.
1 point.
The difference being that perception plus alertness will tell you things you see. Perception plus occult will tell you occult things that you notice.
Well, I'm more curious about that, so...
Okay,
I'll roll my
I'll do perception alertness.
Okay. Just tell me, the basic difficulty to notice anything here is a 5. So roll them and tell me anything you get over a 5. Roll 1 die for every dot you have in both of those things combined. That's why I said you need a pile of dice, because sometimes you're rolling up to 10, 12 dice.
So this is 6 dice.
Yeah. So you're rolling 6 dice. Everything that's a 5 or more
4.
succeeds.
If
you get a 10, if you get any 10s, you re-roll it. It counts as a success, and you can add another one. And if you get any 1s, it takes away.
I have 5 successes.
You have 5 successes.
Did not get any ones.
Okay.
Oh, I got another 10 actually that I didn't realize. This
Okay.
one's a 0.
I got.
So that's another 0.
A 2, a 9, an 8, and a 5.
2, 9, 8, 5.
So I got
So you got
7
9, 8,
successes.
5. You got 3 successes, and you got 7.
Yep.
Okay.
I just rolled 3 10s in a row.
Gottfried, you notice that none of the staff are making eye contact with anyone. They literally won't make eye contact with people. You actually test it. You look right at one of the waitresses walking by, and her eyes pull to the side and go around you. Reese, you kind of notice that. What you really notice is that up above the chandeliers in the ceiling, the entire domed ceiling of this room is painted in pentacles. Circle surrounded pentacles that seem to be written in blood. You also notice that shadowy figures that you can only see from the corner of your eye. You can never see them if you look directly, but shadows of darkness and a faint smell of sulfur are hovering around the two doors that lead into this room from either side, and they seem to be. It's really hard because you have to sort of turn your head and wait and then catch them in the corner of your eye. They seem to be spreading out across the doorways.
I'm gonna just elbow Gottfried real swifty like, point up.
He points.
Gottfried just kind of slowly, like, you know, behind his aviators, which are mirrored, of course. Just kind of slowly tilts his head back, like he's kind of relaxing a little bit, and looks
It's pretty
up.
easy to see that the ceiling is painted in pentacles made of blood. Now that
And he just kind of slowly nods, and that's really about all he does.
You know by now that you're not Gottfried. You know by now that you're not crazy. You've done enough research. You are starting to suspect that there's something occult or supernatural going on in your life. It could just be visions. It could be whatever. But you get this impression that you've obviously stepped through the looking glass. Reese, you know you're possessed. You're like, yep. I know.
Yeah.
You've figured it out by now, and you're like, cool. Things could be a lot worse.
I just don't know what it is. Or
Also because whereas Gottfried, you get visions that sort of point you in the right direction, but you're not given much information. Like nothing. You have literally a pride demon who's you get whispers in your dreams and in your quiet moments, promising you immortality, promising you women and money and glory. And
I'm a warrior. I'm a trial warrior that the gods recognize.
It won't stop. So that's where you're at. After a few moments, an average-looking guy in a suit, looks like your typical American politician, kind of paunchy, gray-haired. He's got a briefcase. He goes up to the podium, taps on it a couple of times, and everyone shuts the fuck up and pays attention to him. Gentlemen, ladies, all of our invited guests. Obviously, what is said in this room doesn't leave this room. Not that it would matter anyway. Things have changed on the world stage in the last couple of days. It's been kept out of the news, but several key people, let's say, just people, that's all you need to know, have died. People who were not supposed to have died. And he's looking across the room almost like, we know it wasn't any of you who did it. His gaze sort of slips over Gottfried for a sec. But, and again, you don't feel any fear. There's no accusation here. They're just talking. But something is definitely going on, and it is without a doubt become plain that the other side is making a big move. Reese, Gottfried, you have no fucking idea what he's talking about. Okay, he might as well be speaking in Martian at this point. But hey, you know, you got the impression you should be here. I guess I'm going to listen. But you do notice, it's not difficult to notice because you're not stupid enough to not look around the room. You do notice that quite a few people in here do seem to know what he's talking about. Like, there's definitely some acknowledgement. There's some looks of shock and fear. There's some looks of consternation. Some guys suddenly just seem to have clicked and went, "Oh, well, that explains it." But just like you, there's quite a few people looking around like, "Okay,
What the fuck is he going on?
the fuck does this guy want?" Right?
Yep.
So you're in the same boat as at least half the people in this room, and there's probably 200 to 250 people here.
Okay.
Each of you will be receiving assignments, and you will be reimbursed for them, of course. You will, as always, have the full support of our organization. You have no fucking idea what organization he's talking about, but okay. And without a doubt, your companions will be there to assist you. This, of course, Reese just goes like, "Oh, okay."
Oh.
And Gottfried, you do have an inkling. Something when he says that almost feels like it tickles the back of your brain. In a nice way. Almost like a comforting pat on the shoulder from something that isn't there. So it's up to you to figure out how you take that. But you definitely feel the presence of something in there with you.
Okay.
Now, sorry, remind me again. What, I'm looking at his. What demon is yours?
Envy.
Envy, that's right. Okay.
With a giant bow.
That's
and a
right.
Cloak.
That's right. No, I'm trying to keep in mind how envy would interact with you versus how pride would interact with Reese.
Yeah, big difference.
Yeah. Yeah, envy is about keeping secrets. Envy is about, you belong to it. Whereas pride is working with him. Envy is always trying to manipulate you, which of course explains a lot about your personality as well. It's like working with Zeech.
Yep.
If it feels like I'm keeping you dancing on the end of strings, there's a reason for that.
Good. No, I wholeheartedly want to feel like that.
Okay, great. Give me one moment. I'm going to pause the video so we don't lose anything.
Go ahead, man.
This is so good. This has gone so much better.
This is gonna be really fucking cool.
Like split up this in Brutal Legend 2.
Starting again. Okay. You will all be given assignments. Some of you will be working together. Some of you will not. Obviously, some of you know what's going on. Some of you do not. What is important at the moment is that you have a little faith. There's a ripple of laughter across the room at the word faith. Some of you look really confused, like, oh, okay, whatever.
Even Reese chuckle.
Have a little faith. Do as we ask, and remember that as long as we all do our jobs, our friendly little blue ball keeps spinning, and the party keeps going. And then he leaves, and nobody applauds. There's some talking. You can hear talking back and forth. The 6'9" gentleman comes up to you and says, the two of you will be meeting in my office with me in the morning. He hands you both a business card. He says, the hotel, of course, is on us for the night, as is any other diversions you wish. Please avoid involving the authorities in any way and try to do your best to behave. And I will see you at 8:30 in the morning at that address.
Excellent.
Alrighty.
And you guys are free
Gottfried
for the
at this
evening.
point knows wholeheartedly not to question anything in public view.
No, the last thing you would ever do is look like you didn't know what was going on.
Oh yeah.
Even if it meant being pretentious, Gottfried is
Yep.
like, oh yeah.
So Gottfried, at that point, walks down to the bar, most likely.
Yep, there's a bar. There's
for
a bar
couple
outside.
drinks to watch.
People are leaving the convention hall now. You get no impression that there was anything ever on the walls or ceilings or any sort of supernatural thing. And all of the staff have, well, they're looking at you now. They absolutely see you. They're interacting with you.
Okay.
Conversely,
He calls
Reese
over
knows just
one of the waitresses that he performed the experiment with, where, like, he looks at the waitress and then she very quickly diverts her gaze away and goes, excuse me, I have a question for you.
She does not divert her gaze. She looks you right in the face, right in the eye, and is quite pleased to say, and hopefully I have an answer for you.
Were you holding any events today here at the convention hall?
No. I think there's a convention going on at the hotel 3 blocks away at the Marriott, and we have a lot of spillover, which is why there's all these people here, and the guys in the suits. Not
Right, of course.
not like you. You look like a. Well, you look different anyway. And she says that with a big smile.
Gottfried gives her one of his flashiest grins. There was no organizations that met here before? No?
There's nothing on my schedule for the day, sir. Is
Okay.
this... she's just hoping you keep talking to her. Because looking
Why don't
around
you
the
come sit
room,
with me and have a drink?
I'm still on duty, but
Come now.
I am.
Just one drink.
I'm off in half an hour, and she slips you her phone number, and she's like, I'll be back in half an hour, sweetie. I gotta check out.
Oh my god, I love it.
Oh yeah, you're watching this like, how the hell does he do that, man?
Oh no. Reese stays away from bars after he figured out that, well, he knows
It's
he's
not
possessed.
you're not at a bar. You're literally in the hotel at the hotel bar, like literally outside the door,
Oh, okay.
where they have they just have people there. Yeah, you're still in the hotel.
Yeah. Reese would not go to a bar though. Bar
No.
fights are not something we should get into.
No, absolutely not. No. Godfrey just seems to be doing what Godfrey always does, picking up the staff and getting laid.
Yep. Reese
Pretty
is
much.
just
And
perplexed
she
and over
definitely
some
notices you. She notices you the same way all women seem to notice you. It's almost too easy.
skin. Yeah, I'll have a gin.
Yep, you sit and have a quiet drink. Nothing else happens in the evening. Obviously, you do now notice, though, it's not hard if you spend any time in the bar. You do notice that a few people from that event are there, and there is a definite sense of concern or fear.
Okay.
That seems to come from them. Whatever they found out, anyone who knows what's going on is concerned, and guys who you are used to never seeing afraid, like some of these guys are definitely big time something or others, big time military, big time criminal organizations, whatever. These guys are rattled.
Yeah, that's not natural.
So in the morning, you go to see the business card. I forgot to give this guy a name. We're going to call him Mr. White. And again, his biggest thing is that he looks like Lurch from the Addams Family.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, except 90 years old. Very spry, though. He speaks plainly, and he seems quite friendly. You don't get anything like weird off of him, except that one time when there was fire in his eyes. But you go to his office a couple of blocks away in a building, in a very quiet, nondescript office. You go up in a plain old elevator. Washington, D.C. doesn't have any buildings that are more than 5 or 6 stories high, so it's not like skyscraper hot shots. You're in view, actually, from his window. You have a lovely view out towards the Congress and the mall. And he says, "I need both of you to sit down, and I need both of you to listen up. We're hoping by this point that you figured a few things out for yourselves. We don't want to have to rush you into anything, and we generally allow your companions to do the work. If you don't know what I'm talking about,
Where my questions begin.
yeah, don't worry. This is something that, and you sort of get the impression, again, you feel that hand on your shoulder. It's protective. It's very protective. You almost feel it pulling you away from this guy. Not in a danger way, but like, mine. Like,
Right.
like you've been around women enough, you've been around men enough, you've been around the world enough to know that feeling when somebody's like, back off, bitch. This one's mine.
Okay.
Yeah. You almost feel like a tug of war. You don't feel any danger, though. Like, literally no danger. This Mr. White seems calm and friendly and placid. You know how to read people. There's no gun in his belt. He's not about to whip out some sort of weird esoteric sword and take a swing at you. He's 90 years old. And he's sitting calmly in his chair. And he said, "Those answers will come. I'm not the person to give them to you. I might not even really have them. For the moment, we need the two of you on a plane to Jerusalem."
Jerusalem.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Well, something like an archaeological dig, and we need both of your expertise there.
Now you're talking about expertise, but buddy, I'm just a title fighter.
You're also an exceptional bodyguard. You are also an exceptionally intimidating individual when you want to be. And Herr Schock, you are very good at passing unnoticed, even before we helped you with that. And again, you're like, wait, what?
Excuse me.
And the hand on the shoulder is like, it's okay, buddy. It's okay, sweetie. I got you. You can almost hear a whisper in your ear, like, it's okay. It'll all be okay. Just go with it. Yeah. And we will also need you there. There may be other instances of travel, and you may find yourself leaving and going from place to place quite quickly. For the moment, I can't tell you much else. Once you are on the plane, you will be flying there by private jet. We will obviously give you more information, but we need you in a secure place in order to do that. Suffice it to say that you will be halting what could very well be World War III. We don't 100% know, but we are concerned that our, I don't like to say opponents, but let's say the other half of this equation may be making a move to end everything.
This would not be the first time.
Well, no, it wouldn't. Actually, one of the things you're going to discover is that it's happened significantly more times than even you realize. And that's all I can tell you, except that the jet is waiting on the tarmac at Reagan, and it will take you to the Holy Land, nonstop. And from there, that's where you go. You are ushered outside very quickly by a couple of burly gentlemen who are not intimidating in the least, but they definitely seem to be security for this man. And you're ushered into a black Humvee and taken to Reagan International, where you board a Learjet, which apparently has the capacity of getting all the way to Jerusalem. But, well, you know about planes. Quite possible. And once you are on there, you feel the overpowering need, Gottfried, to go to the bathroom.
So he gets up and goes to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm. And so you have a pee, you're washing your hands, and you look in the mirror, and standing behind you is an envy demon.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah. Standing behind you is
I'm
the
guessing
image.
this is what he meant.
Yeah, buddy, I'm here to give you your answers. Not gonna let him give you the answers. You're my friend. You're my... I don't know what we want to call it. You're my BFF. We're gonna be besties. Nobody's gonna hurt you, and nobody's gonna do anything that I don't let them do to you. I'm here to help. By the way...
I'm sure you are.
By the way, yeah, and of course you can see what this thing looks like. Obviously, you know what it looks. You know what the envy demon looks like. By the way, am your envy demon. I ride around inside your head. Remember when you got shot?
Yeah.
Oh, there was a part of you that was so didn't want to die. Was so angry and so jealous of all of the great things that all of the other people and that asshole who shot you when you were just trying to keep him from getting killed. I mean, what, you take 5 hostages in a bank. How do you think it's going to end, buddy? You were talking them down. You were jealous. You weren't even angry. You were jealous of the life that all of these people were going to get to live and that you weren't. And so I said, okay, I'll help. And I came to you, and you're alive, and you're stronger, and you're faster, and you're quieter when you want to be. We've kept a few interested parties away from you and allowed a few interested parties to find you. You make good money, you live a nice life, and you work for us, sort of. I work for them.
Who is us?
It's not the devil. That's one thing you can know. And the other thing you'll know is I won't lie to you. You, after all, are my best friend. And I'm very, very jealous of who gets to mess around with my friends. So it's not the devil. There is no devil. There's no Satan. There's no Lucifer. There's no Jesus. There's no God. It didn't actually happen. There are, however, other things out there than just you and me, or than just you and the muscle guy out there. There are angels and
The muscle cut.
demons, whatever you want to call us, things, expressions of the things that you feel, expressions of your anger and your rage and your hate and your greed. And on the other side, there's also expressions of your, I don't know, internal constipation and inability to get laid and, you know, strong desire to not have a hangover. I don't ever know what to talk about with those guys. They're idiots, every single damn one of them. All we want to do is have
I get
fun.
what you mean.
You kind of understand what I'm talking about? So we got the two sides of the coin. And we've been playing this game ever since the first one of you guys came down out of the tree and hit a rock with another rock and it went spark. Pretty much. This is how long we've been doing it. And overall of this time, well, sometimes one side gets the upper hand, sometimes the other side gets the upper hand, but for the most part, we just do our thing. Now, we demons, we love people like you. People so desperate for one more shot at the brass ring that we get to come along and help. And that's all we really do, is help. I don't control you. I won't hurt you. I'll never hurt you. You're my best friend. I'll just help. Nudge you in the right direction. Nudge the world in the right direction so it keeps spinning and we all get to keep having fun. So, Bubby, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to Jerusalem and we're going to find the tomb of a king. I know that sounds weird. I know that sounds weird, but we're going to find it. And more importantly, a bunch of guys who know what they're doing are going to find it, archaeology types. And you're going to keep them alive. You and Muscles out there.
I see.
Yeah. We may have to take out a couple of the enemy. We may not. It depends on whether or not they know what we're doing. But something...
Oh, no.
Yeah. I know. I knew you'd be heartbroken. Don't worry. I'll save the best shots for you. Because I'm your best friend. It's what we do. And I'll always be there to help. So for now, let's just go with the flow. Let's keep these eggheads alive. And let's see what happens when we find the tomb of a king. Because apparently, we're not looking for a king. From what I've gathered from the higher-ups, we're looking for the king.
And Gottfried's eyes kind of, or eyebrows kind of raise up a little bit, and he goes, "Oh."
Apparently, there's just one, and he's, yeah, I know, I'm as confused as you are. He's the king. He's been the king, and I don't mean Elvis. But he's been the king for a long...
That's depressing. I was hoping for a concert.
Yeah, we might get one. I don't know, but apparently this is the king, the cursed king. The one who has the power to bind the world. He's done it before. But we have to know how to find him, and we have to know how to summon him. And unfortunately, there's no one left around who remembers how. It hasn't happened, from what I understand, since just after the fall of the Roman Empire. And that's what I mean when I tell you, you'd be surprised how often they've tried to end all this. It also happened in Jerusalem, a couple of thousand years ago, when that hippie freak got nailed to a tree, and everyone thought he was the son of some kind of god. And it happened before, way back in antiquity, when they were building those pyramids. They've managed to bring forth the king. And the king managed to bind a group together and change the face of the world. We're hoping that this will end whatever the other side's doing. We know the other side doesn't want it because they want to stop us, and that's usually a good enough reason for us to do a thing. That's all I can tell you for now, because that's all I've been told. I've been told to get you to Jerusalem and to help you keep these eggheads alive.
Okay.
Sounds good for now. And for which, of course, you will be made even richer than you already are. Reese, well, he's in the can. You get comfy, take a seat, and crack a bottle of water, and are basically given the same information from your demon. Except it's more along the lines of, buddy, we're going to save the world. You are going to be the best. Everyone is going to love you for what you do. All we got to do is go to Jerusalem, do a little touring around, flex a bit, beat up on some bad guys if they come looking for a fight. And other than that, man, you're gonna hang out with some of these dopey scientist dudes, and they're looking for I don't know, some hole in the ground, stuff that's not as important as you and me. You know what I mean?
Right. Gotta look out for number one.
That's right. And right now, number one is the job. All right. But once you do the job, everybody in upper management is going to know who you are, is going to like you, is going to be there for you. Just like I am, we're going to be the number one thing. We'll be on the comeback track, buddy. And all we got to do is protect these scientists for a bit. They're looking for something, I don't know, something to do with a king. Big deal. You're the king. Not him. You're the king.
What king?
I don't know what king.
Right.
I don't know what king. Some king. Some king from back in the days of that Jesus jerk.
Fucking prick. I know about him too.
Yep. The hell do you ever do for anybody?
You're supposed to talk to before you fight so that you can win, but I just talk to me.
See? And after 14 hours in the air, you land in Jerusalem.
Beautiful.
You are taken to a hotel. You're shown to your rooms. It's quite a nice place. They're doing everything top of the line. You're actually interviewed by a couple of Mossad agents who, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, will make sure everything goes smoothly.
Right.
I'm sure that Gottfried has probably dealt with Mossad multiple times. He's like, "Oh hi, how are you doing today?"
Oh, absolutely. You dealt with Mossad after the Munich killings. Absolutely, and one of them sort of.
It's a pleasure to see you. And then they're sitting there like, "Oh God, it's him! Oh my God!
Oh my God! Oh God! Oh God! Oh God! Oh God! Oh God!" Yep. Oh yeah, absolutely. But these guys seem to be in on whatever it is, because you're not given any indication that there's a problem. They did say we have had odd occurrences around the city, and I mean this is Jerusalem we're talking about, so odd is kind of par for the course. You know, when the Palestinians aren't blowing things up, and the Hasidics aren't throwing rocks at everybody, and you know there aren't riots in the street, it's hard enough for us to keep track of what's going on with the normal batshit crazy aside from this. So we are glad that you are here to take over. There are 3 scientist archaeologist type dudes who are working in the old city. You'll meet them tomorrow, and your job is literally just to keep them alive, just to protect them.
All right, we can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, so no problem. You're given fake IDs. You are given announcing that you are Israeli Special Forces. Neither of you speak Israeli, but they're speaking ancient Hebrew. But it's not that big a deal for some reason, because you now have nothing to do with them. It's just ID to get you through checkpoints. You are introduced to 3 scientists who all very, very obviously are on your side. You can almost smell it coming off of them like sulfur. It's you notice that no one else seems to notice it, only you do. Okay. Like staff aren't walking around going, "What the hell smells like rotten eggs?" No, they have no concept this is happening. But when you meet these people, just for a split second, you get this strong whiff of sulfur like someone lit a match.
Right.
And so they are digging. They don't seem very forthcoming as to what they're doing specifically, but they seem to be digging in, trying to get information in some tombs in some part of the ancient city. The part that was there, you know, back around 0
years ago.
Back around 0 AD, you know,
yep.
Or maybe a little later, 1st century AD anyway. And I mean, you guys can do some research into the 1st century AD, and I can tell you what you find out, but that depends on how curious you are. Other than that,
he's gonna go for a poke.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start my investigation here.
Okay. Very quickly. Okay, both of you make me an intelligence plus investigation roll.
Okay. So
I believe I've got 2 in each of those things.
Okay. And what is it you want to find out? That'll give you the difficulty.
Well, I kind of want to know, not necessarily who this king is, but like, great, we're digging up a king. Why? What's gonna happen? What,
Okay,
like,
that's
relation to
really
us
hard.
does this
That's
kid have?
really, really hard. Like, to find out why you're digging up a first century AD king in Jerusalem would be like a difficulty 10, and you'd need 2 successes because you're asking for something that research can't tell you.
Right.
Or at
I'm
least-
basically going to ask
one
for...
of these guys has left their satchels around.
Oh no, that's really, that's really easy. Just ask him. But he doesn't seem to want to tell you is the point. If you want to know what king they're looking for, a quick search on the internet will tell you who the first century kings in Jerusalem were.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm going to see if I can figure out which king, what he ruled, any historical context of shit that he's done, basically. It's just simple shit, and then he's going to kind of figure out why based off of that information for himself.
Make a roll. The difficulty is like 4.
Okay. A 7, a 9, a 7, a 6, and a 4.
Oh my word.
Okay. Without a doubt, you know that they are probably looking for the lost tomb of King Herod the Great.
Okay.
Herod the Great was a Greek Jew who was brought in to be the ruler of Israel when the Romans took over. Or, actually, the Romans had taken over sometime before, but around the time of the life of Jesus. He was the king when Jesus was born. Yeah, because they wanted to break the line of David. They wanted to break the royal line of King David, and they wanted to keep Israel under the thumb of Rome. They brought in a Jewish king, so an Israeli as a Hebrew, who would be accepted by the people, but they made him from Greece, and they gave him the throne, and he was basically Rome's puppet. And he was the king at the time of Jesus. He was also the one who condemned Jesus to death. And at the time of Jesus' birth, the most famous thing is Jesus had to be snuck out of the country and hidden in Egypt because Herod ordered the killing of every firstborn or every newborn Hebrew male child at the time of his birth, because they knew that the prophet there were signs that the prophecy was coming true, that the Messiah would be born. More importantly, the birth of Jesus as a son of Mary and Joseph, who were both direct descendants of David, made him the rightful claimant to the throne of Israel. And so Herod had all of them killed. And Herod had all of them killed, and Jesus was snuck out and lived in Egypt as a young boy.
Right. Okay.
And this is all easy stuff because it's all in the Bible. In fact, once you start researching it, you're like, shit, why didn't I knew this. You know,
why the fuck didn't I think? Why?
I'm in a hotel room. Why don't I just look at the damn Bible? But it didn't take much. But yeah, that's obviously what these guys are looking for. Why? Pfft, you haven't the faintest idea, except that maybe there's something in Herod's tomb. I don't know. Maybe there's something about it. But what that has to do with now and today, up to you to figure it out.
Okay.
That's just a basic internet search. If there's anything else you want to know, go ahead. If there's anything else you want to try and figure out, you can try and go ahead.
How many more people are staffed to this dig?
There are the 3 archaeologists, and from what you can see, they look like exactly what they claim to be. It's not hard to tell. These guys have no military training. They have no fighting training. They don't stand right. They don't move right.
So what's most curious to me
and YouTube
is that we appear to be the security company.
You are security.
Okay.
So Gottfried is going to see if he's going to live up to his nickname that various questionable organizations have given him, Ghost. And he's going to see if he can sneak around a little bit and find some of the research notes from one of the researchers and take a look-see.
Well, that was what I was going to do, but he said we could just ask them, so...
Well, no, I said, no, what you said is, do they leave anyone to look for it? Well, if you want to know, you could just ask them, but they don't want to tell you. You are not the type of person who could easily steal something and not be noticed.
Yeah, it's better he does it anyway.
Yeah. You would be more like, get out of my way, I want to look at your stuff.
Yeah, hey, what's going on here? Give me the notes, AK.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's not that you get the impression you couldn't do that, but why?
Yeah, why?
I'm not going to tell you not to, but at the same time, you just don't get the idea that that's necessary. I mean, like, hey, and the voice in your head's like, buddy, don't worry about it. We got this covered.
Yeah.
You know, let the eggheads do their thing. Whereas Gottfried, you are like, yeah, while this guy's thinking of it, you're already back in your room with one of their notes, and they never notice you take them. Please, these guys, even if you had not been as good as you are, these guys probably still wouldn't have noticed. I mean, these dopes would be fooled by, hey, look over there, it's a duck.
Yeah, they're too busy looking at fucking dirt.
Just about, and I mean, they're not trained. It's so stupidly obvious. You're gonna have such a babysitting thing on your hand. Basically, I'm telling you, don't count on them in a fight. They're gonna cower in the corner and cry. But looking through their notes, intelligence. You have science training of any kind?
I have 3 science.
Okay. Roll for me intelligence plus science plus investigation. Okay. Or well, sorry, hang on. What rating do you have in investigation?
Also 3.
Also 3. Okay. So the difficulty would normally be, let's say, 8 to glean any really, really key information. But because you have 3 points in investigation, I'm going to make it 5. I'm going to reduce the difficulty by 3. So roll your science and intelligence, and I'm going to reduce it by your investigation. So the difficulty is 5.
Okay. So I'm rolling 5 dice total?
No, you're rolling as many dice as you have in intelligence and investigation, and your difficulty is 5. And your difficulty is 5.
Okay, so then I'm rolling 6.
Yeah. And anything you get as a 10, you can roll again. And if you get a 1, it takes away a success.
6, 5, 7, 5, 9, 5.
Okay. So that's 6 successes. You very quickly peruse through this information, and stuff leaps out at the page at you. You get Egypt. You get England. You get basically research projects going on around the world. They reference Egypt, England, China, Jerusalem. There's mentions of people, Attila. There's mentions of a few other things. There's mentions of the Bible. There are mention, and across all of it, mentioned again and again and again and again, is the Cursed King.
Okay.
You see translation of a piece of hieroglyphics, the Cursed King. You see translation of some sort of maybe Arabic or whatever. You don't read these languages, but I mean, the hieroglyphics is easy. Any idiot knows that's hieroglyphics.
Right.
You see something that looks like Chinese or Japanese, the Cursed King. You see something that looks Russian, the Cursed King. You see something inscribed on a tree in what looked like the countryside of England. Underneath is written in English, the Cursed King.
Okay.
And that's about as much as you can get from it, regardless of how many successes, because that's all the information that there seems to be.
Cool.
These guys are obviously doing research into something attached to that here in Jerusalem.
Right.
All right, I'm going to take 1 second and pause the video so we don't lose. Okay, so morning comes. You easily slip the information back into where it belonged, and nobody ever noticed that you took it. In the background, you just hear envy. Slow clapping.
Thank you.
Slow clapping. In the morning, you guys are getting ready to go. It's up to you whether overnight you share any of your information with Reese.
I share bits and pieces.
Okay, because obviously he has questions.
I share that there's other projects around. I don't share that every single one is about the Cursed King, and no matter which one you look at, it's all about the Cursed King.
Okay.
Now, John,
because I don't know how valuable this information is yet.
No. It is almost impossible to know when Gottfried is telling the truth or lying. He has got the ultimate poker face.
What a bastard.
No, it really is not. It kind of pisses you off, but at the same time, you don't get the impression that he's messing with you.
Right.
Like,
I'm just kind of taking it at face, and I'm
yeah. He's definitely sharing. And it does make sense with all these projects going on all over the world. That's why there's so few of you on this one.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, some of these places may have taken large crews. This place
That was
might
my
be
first
nothing.
suspicion.
And this
when I
might be
asked how
some
big
kind
our
of low
crew was.
priority mission. We have
Well,
no idea.
in the morning you find out why. The place where they're digging is in the basement. The thing about Jerusalem is inhabited right now. People still live there. There's stuff built on top.
Right.
You go down into the basement of a shop, and some guy is standing there, you know, with his little fez and his robes and all that, and he's like, "We was just digging a basement. We was digging a basement to put new water pipes, and we find the big hole," you know. And he's telling these archaeologists, and they're looking down, and yeah, down where they were digging in the basement, they broke through into what looks like a room. That's why there aren't 50 people here. It's just a room.
Right.
And that's it. The archaeologists say, okay, obviously we're safe down there. A quick look with the flashlight shows, yeah, it's a room about 30 by 30. It's square, and aside from being dark and dusty down there, there doesn't seem to be any way in or out.
So basically, one of us is at the entrance, and then the other one's overwatch on the entrance. Is literally
kind of
what it
thing.
comes
Like,
down to.
yeah, it would be nice. They said it would be nice if one of you could stay here where we are, like just up in the shop. And maybe if one of you wanted to keep an eye on the street to make sure we aren't snuck up on.
I would watch the street. I'll take post on the rooftop.
No problem. I'm not even going to make you roll. It's so easy to find an excellent vantage point. This is Jerusalem. It's a city of narrow alleyways and ancient. I mean, even you can tell the shop he's in must be 1,000 years old. The buildings are old. Cobblestones everywhere. And so they go down. They go down on ropes, and Reese, you can hear them talking. They're plainly talking out loud to each other, and they're not using any kind of code. You do have enough science background to know that they're talking about different things. They're translating inscriptions in ancient Hebrew. They're talking about Herod. This is obvious. Quite obviously, they think they found the tomb of Herod the Great. They talk about how it went missing, how after his death, his body was removed from his original tomb and then hidden because they were afraid with the uprising shortly after his death, and then the new king came in. There was an uprising against Rome. And then, you know, the Battle of Masada and or the Siege of Masada, things like that. And so Herod's body was moved. They don't seem to. I mean, you saw it didn't look like a tomb down there, or it just looked like a room. But obviously they're talking about all kinds of writing and inscriptions all over the walls, and they're taking information more and more and more. You're up on the roof at the moment. Make me a perception roll with... Ooh, hang on, let me pull up your character sheet here. What did I do with your character sheet? There it is.
I have a perception of 2.
Yeah, that's not what's really important.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just pulling this up. You have a perception of 2, and is it alertness? What do I want to see?
I have an alertness of 2.
Yeah, no, it's actually better than that. Make me a perception and firearms roll.
Okay.
You're not actually making a shot here, but this has more to do with firearms than anything else.
Right. 2, 5, 9, 8, 6, 5, 4.
2, 5, okay, 9, 8,
5.
9, 8, 6, 5. Okay. As you are scanning the area, you don't see anyone like making their way towards your building, nothing like that. But out of the corner of your eye, in one of the lanes that you would have chosen as a sniper lane if you were on the ground, you see the barrel of a rifle poke out of a window with what looks like a rifle grenade launcher attached to it. It's a good 200 yards away.
Okay.
And it is definitely aiming in the direction of your building.
Ooh, okay. Contact.
Okay, Reese, all you hear in your thing is contact.
Excuse me, gentlemen. I'm gonna have to step outside for a sec.
No. Stay there.
What?
There's a grenade launcher aimed directly at the entrance of the shop.
Fucking shoot him.
So okay. So
Yeah, quite literally. It's like you can't see inside of the window because it's bright and sunny, and the window is just basically a dark shadow. But
Reese is like, what? Contact? Oh yeah, there's a guy. I see him.
what's
Fucking shoot
really
him.
important is whatever's in that window should be able to see you, but doesn't. You can obviously tell the way that whatever's moving is. You are not visible to them. You are facing right at the window. It doesn't see you.
yeah, because I'm me.
And you can see that the rifle grenade is moving back and forth across the window. Make me an intelligence and make me an intelligence firearm roll, because this is something to do.
So still 7.
You sort of have to put your idea in. Yeah, the difficulty is 6. So anything that's over a 6 is a success. So tell me how many sixes or more you get.
1, 2.
If you roll a 1, let me know, because it takes away a success.
No, I got a 10.
You can roll that again. That counts as an extra.
Okay. So 5 for the first section, and no, I missed that for the last one.
Okay.
So 5.
You get 5 successes. It's pretty obvious he's looking for a target.
Okay.
He's looking for someone to shoot this thing at. They may not know exactly what building you're in, or they may be waiting for someone to come to the door, or maybe they were told that the target's on the roof. Like, you got enough successes that you can put yourself in his position and say, what would I be doing?
Right. So
And
he's just browsing at this
he's
point.
browsing, and you're looking right at him. He should be able to see you. And a little voice in your head says, see, buddy, told you I'm here to help. Just don't move much. Like, you can aim. Just don't. If you get up and walk around, he'll see you.
Right.
But as long as you stay here, he'll look right through you.
So in theory, would I be able to adjust my rifle to aim at him?
Yeah, you've already got the rifle leaning over the roof. You're just basically gonna lean your eye to it and shoot him.
Okay. So then Gottfried leans forward, ever so slightly and ever so slowly, and aims directly at the grenade inside the launcher.
Perfect. So just as you go for the trigger, you kind of see it bucks up and lines up with you, like it just noticed you, but it's too late. You're already squeezing the trigger. Go ahead, take a shot. You're firing dexterity and firearms.
Okay.
The difficulty to hit it, it was unaware. It has no ability to dodge. So the standard difficulty to make a shot is 6.
Cool.
Basically, the standard difficulty for most opposed actions is 6.
Okay.
If let's say the guy's particularly aware or something, the difficulty will be whatever their stats are. But you're trying to hit a stationary target, so it's small and it's 200 yards away.
It's a fucking page for us. Hold on.
Hang on. You have a dexterity of 2 and a firearms of 5, so you have 7 dice and your difficulty is 6.
Great. Okay. So
At this point,
here we go. Just
don't
refresh.
even roll. You have so much. Actually, no, it's 5. Okay, never mind. I was going to say, because it's you don't. If it was difficulty 5, you could automatically hit it, but it would. You
Right.
still need to roll.
I got a 10 and a 1.
Okay, so they cancel each other out.
A 7, a 6, a 5, an 8, and a 9.
Okay, so you line that shot up, 5 successes. It literally goes through the front of the grenade, down the barrel, blows the damn breech out, and you just see a spray of blood come through the front. You put a 50 caliber round down the barrel of his rifle through the grenade and blew the bolt out. That's what 5 successes does. 1 success means you hit him. 5 successes means you did exactly the thing you wanted to do and then some.
Cool.
It's a critical success. Boom, there's a blam. What's really funny is, after you fire the shot, of course, you drop flat on the roof waiting for the helicopters and the mortar fire and everything else from firing a 50 caliber rifle in Jerusalem.
But there's nothing.
No, it wasn't that there was no noise. There was a lot of noise. No one seems to have noticed. You see people walking on the street, kids playing soccer 2 blocks away, have not even stopped. They didn't even stop to look, much less react to it. A little pat on your shoulder says, "See, buddy? Told you I'm here to help."
Mm-hmm. Contact has been dispatched.
Is that so?
Yes,
Don't worry,
I
boys.
blew
We're all
him up.
good. He just looks down in the hole and yells at the guys.
Now, while you were busy taking out that guy, Reese, make me perception and alertness roll, or a wits and alertness roll, whichever one you have more of.
Perception and alertness, or witch and alertness?
Wits and alertness, whichever one you have more of.
Right, I've got 4 perception, so 7 dice altogether.
Okay, your difficulty is, hang on a second.
Oh yeah, tell me that.
Actually, your difficulty is pretty easy. It's only 5.
Okay, so can I just notice it?
Do you have 5 and something?
Oh no, I have 4. No, so I'll
Okay.
just roll.
Right.
7 dice. It's a 10, so I'll roll again. It's another 10. What the? Okay. Okay, so out of like 8 rolls just there, or 9 rolls, I got 6 right.
Okay, so way ahead, like as he's saying contact dispatched, way before you you hear the thumping of footsteps from the other side of the building, coming down the alleyway on the opposite side, like from where Godfrey. You know Godfrey's on the roof above you, facing, let's say, north. From the south side, you long before hear and a big dude comes smashing through the door with what looks like a big aluminum baseball bat in his hand. He's big. He's a good 6'4" and probably weighs close to 300 pounds of muscle. And just very, very quickly, as he came through the door, you saw... You're going to think yourself crazy, but you thought you saw wings trailing behind him, and under his jacket, you thought you saw armor, like an old-fashioned breastplate. It's not there now, that's for sure, but you thought you saw it when he came through the door. And he comes to, and he turns at you and just swings. So you got an amazing reaction time, so you can actually act before he does. He's turned to you with the bat up, but you rolled so many successes that you get the jump on him. You knew he was coming. You literally pulled yourself back behind the door and go.
Okay, so what's happening? I see him with the bat.
He
up,
comes
like he's
through.
gonna
Yeah,
hit
he
me
comes
that was
through.
there.
He comes through the door. He turns to where he expected to see you, but you got so many successes that you sort of stepped up against the wall. So he hasn't quite caught sight of you. He's got the bat up ready, and you got the jump on him.
So I put one hand directly under the butt of the bat and the other on his wrist, and I'm gonna crank it against the wall until it breaks, and then I'm gonna start wailing on him.
Cool. You get 2 actions to his 1 this round, because obviously you have the ability.
Right. So yeah, I'm gonna disarm him, and then I'm gonna pick up his bat.
Okay, a disarm is a little more difficult. You are going up against his strength, which is the strength to hold onto the weapon, plus brawl, which is his ability to wrestle with you. So his strength.
I'm not too worried.
Yeah. No, I'm just trying. That just determines the difficulty. You roll 1 die. You're going to use your strength and brawl because you're grabbing him. Grabbing him is not difficult. He doesn't see it coming, and now it's how strong can you smash his wrist into that wall.
So I've got 8 rolls altogether.
Yeah, you get 8 rolls altogether, and the difficulty is 7, because that's the total of his strength and brawl.
10. 3.
Tell me it's another 10.
10. Okay, I got 4 successes.
You got 4 successes? Okay. You smash
out
his
of-
wrist.
I did 8, 9 rolls, but 2 of them canceled each other out.
Okay. So you smash his wrist against the wall. Plus you put 1 point into supernatural strength, right?
Yes.
Okay, hang on a
I
second.
have 1 point in all the supernatural augmentations. Let's go.
Right. Let's see. I'm gonna roll this toughness here.
I also have intimidation 4.
Intimidation is this guy's picked a fight with you. He's not intimidated. Okay, so out of the 5 potential damage, he soaked 2 of them, meaning 3. Okay, he doesn't drop the bat, but you hear something go crunch in his wrist. It definitely hurt him. He's like, "Argh!" You do have another action though, because you have 2 to his 1.
Did I come with any arms, even a knife?
So that's up to you. Did you bring something? It's up to you.
I mean, I probably brought
What
a
do you
knife,
normally?
but I have no
What do
idea.
you normally carry with you on a bodyguarding job?
Well, his EDC for that, I suppose, would be a serrated knife. He'd probably have some kind of substitute for knuckles as well.
You probably
And
got something
he
like
might
a K.
carry a
You know what?
handgun.
If you want, you have like a K-bar combat buoy with a brass knuckle guard.
Perfect knuckle dusters. So
Yeah.
I
Well,
reached
it's
down
you
into
know the
my-
knife I'm talking about, where the handle has sort of a
It's a trench knife.
yeah. It's got the
World
knuckle
War II
dusters
trench
built
knife.
around it. Bingo.
That is precisely what I want. So I'm going
Perfect.
to.
You got a pair
like,
of them that are really modernized. That's
There you
fucking
go.
Cool.
I pull it out into my left hand and I put it into the ice pick grip. And what I'm gonna do next is basically hook the back of his neck and get him down into a headlock.
No,
Once
go
I've
for it.
broken his wrist.
Okay.
So is that gonna be brawl strength or melee strength? Or brawl?
No,
melee?
you need to hit him first.
Oh, right.
So you've smashed his wrist with one hand. You grab with your right, and you smashed his wrist against the wall. And you went ah, and obviously you did some damage to his wrist, but he's still hanging on to the bat. So in your left hand,
with my left hand, I
Yep.
pull out the dagger and I'm gonna just fucking pin his wrist to the wall.
you're gonna pin his wrist to the wall. Go for it. That's a roll. That's a dexterity plus melee to pin his wrist to the
Okay,
wall.
so
To stab. So basically, if you roll 8 dice, if your difficulty is it's less now because his wrist is damaged and you're holding it with your right hand. So the difficulty's 5.
I have 5 melee.
Yeah. Okay. 5 melee means you stab him in the hand. Automatic 1 success. To pin his hand to the wall with a knife takes more than 1.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I'll
So
just
what you're
roll
doing
to-
is you're calling to do a critical hit. If you want to just stab him in the hand and do 1 point of damage plus your strength, that's fine. You can just call it as an automatic. But if you want to actually hurt him, then you need to roll.
Yes. Okay. So I will roll my dice now, and difficulty 5. That's 1. That's a 4. That's 2. 5. Oh, dropped it. 6. So far, I think I have 3 successes. And that's another 5. This will be my last roll. Okay. So I have, 4 success.
Okay, you got 4 successes. Hang on. 1, 2.
I only have 3d10, but I'm just kind of rolling them over.
Okay, and you also have supernatural strength. Okay, you jam the knife into his hand, and it is remarkably tough. It does go into his hand, but you're used to, this should go through like hot butter. It literally stops halfway through his hand, and bucks backwards. It actually bucks the knife out of his hand.
Oh.
And he turns. You've still got his hand pinned to the wall. You've still got the knife holding there, and he turns, and with his free hand, he comes over the top of his head with looks like a haymaker fist, because you're holding him against the wall, right? And his left comes over with a haymaker fist, and just at a split second, you see what looks like a glowing hammer in his hand, like it's made out of white fire, and it's not there. It's just his fist coming at you, and then a fist smashes into you. Hang on a second and let me just roll some dice here. Yeah, I need more light so I can see what I roll. You can take an action to avoid this. What is your dexterity plus dodge?
5.
5. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. He gets 3 successes to hit you, unless you take one of your next actions to physically dodge, and then you basically roll your dex and dodge, and if you get more than 3, he misses. But other than that, he's going to punch you in the face.
Okay, I'll roll to dodge.
Okay.
So I roll 5 dice.
So you roll your dex plus dodge, and your difficulty is 6, and if you get More than 3. If you get 3 successes, basically you cancel out his hits, and he misses. Just remember that
Just
the next
got
turn
2
you
from
won't.
a 10.
Okay.
That's another one.
Oh, there you go.
So I've succeeded.
Okay,
I just
so
rolled
he
2
goes to
7s and a
punch you in the
5.
face, and you slip the punch, and when he punches the wall, you see it literally shatter about a 1-foot section of the old cement wall and brick. It shatters a 1-foot section out in a crater and sends like 10 feet of cracks all the way through the wall. But you also see his forearm, the bones in it have obviously shattered.
That's mildly horrifying.
So with my now 1 action, I'm going to... Basically, I see his arm. I see that his arm has been fractured. I see his face.
You
and the
also
arm
see that
in
he doesn't
between
give a
his face.
shit.
Yeah, no, he probably doesn't give a bloody fuck. But
Oh,
I see that his
what kind of
arm
angel is helping this asshole out.
is in the way of his face.
What's that? Sorry?
I see his arm, right?
Yep.
In the wall. And I see his face. And I
Yep.
see his arm in the way of his face.
Yep.
And I kind of just want to punch through his arm to get to his face.
Cool. You can do it!
So I'm just going to go right for that spot that I just saw fracture with that impact. And I'm going to go kapam with a nice little 1-inch punch from yours truly and his pride demon.
Cool. You're trying to hit him. He just smashed into the wall. Your difficulty is going to be 5.
Cool. So I'll roll. Is that melee brawl?
Yeah, melee brawl if you're punching. No,
Okay, so
sorry.
9 rolls.
Dexterity brawl. It's always dexterity and
right,
something.
always
And skill. It's an attribute plus a skill.
7 rolls.
Or talent or, whatever.
It's 10. So, 6. 7. Okay, so I got 3 successes.
Okay, you got 3 successes? Hang on a second.
Yes.
You know what? That's good enough because he absolutely tanked his ability to soak them because you also have supernatural strength, which makes it 4. You go in, you hit him in the arm, and it bends backwards, and you just finally see realization in his eyes that his arm is bent backwards at the forearm. As your knuckles go like they just push his forearm into his jaw, and the lights go out, and he just drops to the floor. You also, when he hits the floor, you get knocked back by a burst of air. I mean, it's hard to tell what hits you when you're flying through the air, but something knocks you back against the wall and kind of rattles your cage and rings your bell. And by the time your vision clears, you see that there's just a puddle on the floor, a puddle of wet, and the guy's gone.
Oh, fuck me. I just knocked out a contact with his own arm, but he disappeared. Your guy act weird or what?
No, he just blew up.
You don't know because you can't see in the window unless you want to go investigate. But you just saw the boom and it never didn't come back, and you saw blood. So,
Yeah. So,
the scientists are peeking out from the hole, going,
MIA.
"Is it safe? Is it safe up there?"
Don't worry, no one else is around that I know about. But we're not gonna
They
fuck
seem
around
to.
here.
You see, they're taking a lot of photographs and a lot of video, and they're chattering and talking, and that's it. That's all I can manage for tonight, guys. I don't know because I have to figure out what to do next with you. But I definitely know the story that I want to tell, and this is the way we're going to begin it. I hope you guys had a great time. I hope everybody listening had a great time. I'm going to cut the video here so I can get it posted. Keep an eye open. I will do more of this as often as these two guys want me to.
Fucking righteous.
Cool.